The following is brought to you by the People's National Party.
Make the trumpets play. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. They can tell me how we can do it together. When we look at the future of precipice, we see Jamaica needs the vision of the PSP. People said the bag of promises, them can't carry go shop. And the crime rate getting higher, wonder when it does now comrades. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. We can tell me how.
The proceeding was brought to you by the People's National Party.
So why you come to me with that foolishness, you know? You elect a prime minister, and is a prime minister run the country. It is time we learn to hold our leaders accountable for their actions and stop making excuses for them. Stop making excuses. Otherwise, go elect the people who really run in the country. And I don't want the right kind of stupid argument. Hold the people you elect accountable and stop making excuses for them. The scale of dealing with anti-corruption issues. So there is a learning curve that we are going through. What is important is that the government supports the development of the institution so it can accelerate very quickly on that learning curve and provide the resources so that they can move very quickly on the learning curve, and that the government does not intervene or interfere. And that message goes to the opposition as well. Leave the anti-corruption and policing agencies to do their jobs.
Hello, welcome. Happy Tuesday to everyone in television land. Happy Tuesday to our silent supporters. Happy Tuesday to everyone in the chat. Hope everyone has had a wonderful start to the week. And thank you as usual for tuning in. Remember to thumbs up the live when you come in. Share us out if you can. And if you're new to the channel, it will be greatly appreciated if you subscribe. Tonight's topic is Andrew and his big con, and your host, Byron and Marie, Pastor Ricky Melting Pot, and Mr. Rattigan will be joining us shortly. Let me just welcome those in the chat. Carla E. Banks, Jean Downer, Truck Life, Don Mel, Patel Cruikshank, Sonia, Dwight Tyndale, Rennie Swaby, Merlin Mollioson, Louis Longshaw, Beverly, Jerry Sadler, Brittany L, JP, welcome. And as usual, I will welcome you as you come in. If I lose control, then it will be an umbrella one. And I just have some housekeeping to do. So I'm going to hand over to Baron. G Angel, welcome. Real Black Woman, Confused Friendly Robot, bless up yourself. Elaine Turner, welcome.
All right, blessings to all of our subscribers and people who are tuning in, right, both locally and in the diaspora. We want to say big thanks, right, for, the panel that we have tonight, right. Without any delay, we are just going to get into, right, the usual thing, because we have so many things to talk about tonight. So many things that we are going to talk about in terms of the highlighting the corruption, right? And, it's just unprecedented. So we have all of that to go through. So many things to go through. So without any delay, let me just have Brother Pastor Ricky just meet and greet his people as usual.
Yes, good night again, Sir Byron. The Professor, Lady Anne-Marie at the control. The pilot having everything under her wraps. God bless you. And my brethren, Sir Melting Pot across the water, the fireman, and I stop burn the fire. Blessings. And to everyone in the chat currently and future viewers that will be watching after we signed off tonight, tomorrow, the weeks to come. God bless you. I'm so excited that we're able to set the record straight. We're able to speak truth to power. We're all one team, and we're going in the same direction. The deliverable will be strong, and we are not wrong. God bless you. Tune in and fasten your seatbelts. Amen.
All right. Let me say a big up to Legris and in the chat. Legris continue to tell the people to do the right thing. Right. Love you, Legris, for that. And all other persons in the chat, big up. You understand? We all love you. Without any delay, melting pot, meet and greet.
Yeah, man. Greetings once again to our comrades out there, you know. Just want to say enough love and respect. Yeah, keep the fire burning, you know. Yeah, man, I know, say power to the people every time, you know, melting pot. Yeah, because we say power for the people.
All right.
And power we mean.
Yes. Yeah, let us do one more big up now to the Titan boss, CEO. Lonesome anyway there, big up yourself. You understand? Lonesome, not stop and beat the fire and keep the fire
Big
burning.
up, Father Lonesome, the
So,
trendsetter, the Godfather.
It's a battle relay, you know. You understand? The Titan CEO, right, did what he had to do, right? And we have to, of course, come on, you understand, move the post a little bit further. Having said that, people, right, we have seen the, how should I call it? All right, Rattigan is on the board here. Right.
Call me about situation.
Call me later in the morning.
Okay. All right. Without any delay, let us have Brother Rattigan meet and greet his people as usual. Ratty, you're in the space.
Welcome, Sir Rattigan, the professor.
Yeah. Big up on yourself, big up on yourself, big up on yourself. Melting pot, Pastor Ricky, Dynamic Duo, and all the people in the chat. Apologies for the last 2 weeks, but I'm here live and in person, ready to go.
Yeah.
All
Amen.
right. Blessings. So having said that, of course, let us delve in the antics that took place in Parliament today, right, as it relates to Jamaica Labour Party's strategical, criminal and corruptive move that they had done, right? Want to gain political mileage and, of course, want to force, right, in terms of having Portmore become the 15th parish. We have seen that they have bullied their way through the lower house, right, because they have the numbers. Sorry, people, because they have the numbers. So having 49 and the People's National Party have 14, obviously, right, they would have already had the 2/3 majority. And so they are able to pull their way through. However, they have another obstacle to cross. So I don't want people to, right, be saying that, okay, all right, Portmore is the 15th parish, because they have to send it up to the upper house. And going to the upper house, they are going to need one People's National Party support for that. And you'll be looking, right, to see which People's National Party, right, would out of their mind, right, to support the Jamaica Labour Party in the upper house, right? So we are looking on now. We are warning every person's, right, who have a say in the upper house as it relates to on the opposition side, to make sure that you stay online, right? Because we can't support that. We see that the move that the Jamaica Labour Party, right, has made today is a political move, right, a corrupted move, right, and defranchising, you understand, Portmore people who had voted, right, for the mayor and use the democratic process, you understand, to select, right, their Portmore mayors. And the process as it relates to what being navigated today in Parliament, right, is going to rob the people of that. Now, so let us look at a government who we say, all right, care. If you're care, if you're not caring, right, why not put in all the amenities into Portmore in terms of before doing, you understand, what you are doing, trying to just, you understand, rush what you are rushing through just to gain political mileage on an unfair basis, you understand, to make sure that, of course, the defranchise as it relates to the people of Portmore, right? Totally unfair. Portmore doesn't have a grand market, now, so to speak, as opposed to other parishes, right? They don't have a prime hospital, right, to deal with healthcare, right, as it relates to other parishes, right? And they don't have a courthouse system, right, as it relates to other parishes. So you tell me, and what the GLP had done is to make sure that they went in, right, and manipulating those policies, right, just like what Andrew Wallace with his new Indigent program, but we are going to touch that tonight. We are going to touch that as it relates to the manipulation. You understand? We are going to touch that tonight, right? So we see that Andrew Wallace is working, right, working hard and working, you know, I mean, over time. And let me say this, isn't that the other day they came out with a blue dot poll, right, saying that, right, the Jamaican Labour Party is leading by a 5% margin of error? Then if that is the case, then why resort to the level of desperation that you are resorting to? It goes to show you the criminality. You understand the diversion tactics. You understand and the outright criminality of this Jamaican Labour Party. Without any delay, before I go to the panel, let me just play, right, Comrade Mark Golden as it relates to explaining what the Jamaican Labour Party is doing as it relates to this process in wanting Portmore, right, to become the 15th parish, right, of Jamaica. It is not something that is going to benefit the interests of the Jamaican people, but benefit them seeking political mileage, wanting to stay in power, right, to hide their corruption and doing all what they are doing, the diversion, the this and the that, the corruption, pure evil. This goes to show you that the Jamaican Labour Party administration is 100% corrupt, not two-way about it. Without any delay, Oni, let us find that clip and let us share Mark Golden in Parliament. All right, so that clip is coming up, right, as it relates to Mark Golden. Okay, let us listen to what Comrade Leader is saying.
And an aberration for those democratic rights of the people of Portmore to be removed without their consent or approval by this government abusing its parliamentary majority. Mr. Speaker, the two current mayors of Portmore and St. Catherine were both duly elected in February last year, less than a year ago, in fact. One directly by the people in Portmore, and the other by the elected local representatives of the people in St. Catherine. They both hold office as an expression of the democratic will of the people. This bill will destroy the expressed will of the people. It will remove the mayor of Portmore, who was chosen democratically by the residents of Portmore, and it will also result in the much reduced parish of St. Catherine suddenly having a majority of JLP councillors so that they can remove the current elected mayor and install one of their own. That is the effect of this legislation.
Let us delve into that, Brother Ratty. I move like this on behalf of the Jamaican Labour Party, right? To go against the people's democratic will in terms of the democratic process, in terms of having those mayors. And the Jamaican Labour Party now is directly moving, right, to eliminate the mayor, going against the democratic rights of the people. This is disgusting. This is despicable. What say you on the matter, Brother Ratty?
Well, again, good night, good night, good night. Pleasure to be back in the saddle. Listen,
yes,
desperate times call for desperate measures. And so I'm not surprised. And if I were in their position, I'd be doing the same thing. except that when you look at it objectively, Mark Golding spelled it out exactly the purpose behind it. And you only do this when you're desperate and you see you're down in the polls and you see it look very unlikely that you're going to hold the reins of power again. So I think what Mark Golding did was exactly what he should have done, call it out, because him can't stop them in the house. Him know that him can't stop them because it's what 49-14.
Yes.
But this when need the upper house to register a voice.
Exactly.
And the question now is with this kind of suspicious play that they come up with, how do they expect to convince anybody from the opposition side to cross the aisle and say, yeah, we're going to vote with you and make Portmore the 15th parish? Considering that Portmore is if you think about what a parish should look like, Portmore is nowhere near there. Nowhere near there. So then the question then is, if say you develop the infrastructure, you put in the cart before the horse. You develop the infrastructure and you say, okay, it's ready now, we can turn it to 15 parish. I think you get more buy-in. But you don't have the medical facilities, you don't have the infrastructure, you don't have the schools, you don't have a lot of things that the water supply, all these things, you don't have the things that you need to establish that 15th parish. So why? And then think about this. There are so many issues in Jamaica that you choose to pick this one and say, well, you have to resolve this.
Exactly.
There's a water shortage in Jamaica right now. 7 out of 14 parishes have issues with water. There's an education problem, brain drain included. There is a health problem. There's a housing problem. When them give you a house and when you let them take it to and get to the world and want to get that. And there's a road problem. There are all kinds of problems. And instead the government say, listen, let's just focus and put our resources where we should in terms of addressing the needs of the people. You come now with this opaque, with this idea that we're going to create a 15th parish. And then you ask, the people should ask themselves, all right, if you create a 15th parish, how are we going to be? Let's say you create a 15th parish today. How are we going to be better off tomorrow? How? You won't. It's that simple. You won't. It's calling it the 15th parish. It's not going to make things better. So to me, this is just, again, another desperate move by a desperate government. And I hope the people will see right through this, because that's why we have programs like Mystic Sensation, so that we can educate and elevate. All right.
All right. Very good. So we know that of course, what happened today as it relates to the parliament, right? And that is one of the reasons why we asked the Jamaican electorate to look at the corrupted practices of the Jamaican Labour Party. One, they have been serious in terms of not wanting, right, to highlight the illicit aid, and asking the electorate to go to the poll blindly and vote for people who are corrupted. Right? So this is what the Jamaican Labour Party, right, has been guilty of. Knowing to the fact that you have 8, right, corruptors that will be on the ballot. But the narrative is not about the issue at hand as it relates to serious corruption. Serious corruption. Many of these persons, if it was a democratic, true democratic reflection, right? Many of these persons should not even be on the ballot. But they are participating in our life, giving political representation to us, where they themselves running away from certain responsibility as it relates to signing the code of conduct. Look at it, people. That you have these members of parliament say, no, I don't want to be responsible, right, as it relates to the code of conduct. I am not going to sign that. While the opposition, all members on the opposition side sign the code of conduct. But here is the same corrupted behavior in terms of what they are now doing, right? Forcing down things, right, as it relates to, right, breaching the people's democratic rights, fundamental rights. Before I go any further, let me just pass on the baton, right, to Pastor Ricky as it relates to what we are seeing. They succeeded as it relates to the parliamentary majority having 49 and the People's National Party have 14. So the People's National Party couldn't stop that. Two-thirds majority, they ram it through, right? But no, Pastor Ricky, is on. We have our surveillance, everything alert, watching what is going to happen in the Senate, because they need at least one People's National Party support, right, to pass it through the Senate. What say you on this level of?
Yeah, welcome back, Professor Sir Rattigan. We miss you. Big up yourself.
Yes, brother.
As Sir Rattigan normally said, theme favorite minister said, it ain't gonna happen. Now, listen, the people of Portmore will not be fooled. They live in the constituents and they know the needs of Portmore. I was told that Portmore doesn't have even a sewage system. And that's something, the government reveals that they have their priorities backwards, a backward thinking government.
Yes.
Not only that, but you see when criminal minds are collaborating together, you see the bullyism, they know it's dead on arrival and it ain't gonna go nowhere. But yet they present this because their objective is to now use this against the People's National Party to portray the People's National Party that they don't want to have the 15 parish. That will be the narrative that they will run with and use it as a campaign ploy. But it ain't gonna work because the people themselves don't even want a parish because they know, as you said and Sir Rattigan said, they don't have a hospital in Portmore. If there's a disaster of Spanish Town or Kingston, them would have forgot. God forbid. So and they don't have a proper sewage system for Portmore to become a parish. They don't even have a library. I mean, this government priorities is just way beyond the pale. And so it's not going to work because nobody in Portmore, the residents I'm speaking, I've spoken to folks who live in Portmore, and they say they're not, that's the last thing they're concerned about.
Okay, so we have Pastor Ricky getting some Wi-Fi problem there.
No, what they're concerned of, the people of Portmore is not concerned about that. What they're concerned about is how they're going to buy a pound of chicken, how they're going to buy a loaf of bread, where the school fee is coming from, how them are going to pay them rent. The people in Portmore is concerned about high inflations, high interest rate, high prices, high utility expenses. And you think an uncaring government will discern what is necessary to empower the people to be happy. This is going to, just like everything has backfired on this government because they're incompetent, this too will backfire because nobody from the People's National Party in the Senate is going to vote for this piece of garbage.
Thank you. I mean, melting pot, as we see, right, the level of corruption exhibited, right, as it relates to the reasons why Jamaica Labour Party pursuing, right, Portmore to becoming the 15th parish, right, without the necessary amenities, right, that a parish should really have. All the other parishes, right, as it relates to the 14 parishes of Jamaica, right, do have, a grand market. They do have, right, courthouses, right, and they do have hospitals, right, you name it. Portmore lack these amenities. However, it is not about these amenities. It is about Jamaica Labour Party desperate, wanting to hold on to power, right, wanting to step in power to hide their level of corruption. But tonight, we are going to spill their guts, right? So as it relates to what you have seen here, Melting Pot, just give your piece. Go ahead.
First, I must say welcome to Saratigan, you know. First time sharing the space with you. Yes, so welcome, sir. Well, we all know Portmore already to become a parish. So, you know, the little hanky-panky trick where the regime are trying to instigate, it never really come to no fruition. Because we know it lack all the amenities that a parish should have. Yeah. So this is about political boundaries.
Yeah.
You understand? This is what they are pursuing, political boundaries. But this regime, nobody is in any form or shape of agreement with nothing what them doing right now. It is a corrupted regime that prides itself on corruption and criminalities. Who would want this regime to be the government that changed Portmore into a parish? That would be desecrating Portmore in itself. You don't want criminals to get parish status. These people are garbage and should be in Riverton City. If they want to find themselves somewhere, Riverton City could accommodate them and them nastiness and them garbage plan what them have. Because every Jamaica sick and tired of this regime government, you know.
Yep.
This government right now, the leader for the party, not supposed to contest no general election, number one. Several members from the cabinet as well, not supposed to be on the ballot. So we're looking at a fictitious regime pursuing power by all means. Well, I know the people at Portmore, they are not naive to these things, you know.
Right.
They won't give in. They won't yield to hypocrisy and corruption. We want a landscape of politicians that are fair and transparent. Don't try to seek no added advantage because there's a loophole to exploit. St. Catherine is a parish that has been Jamaica's largest parish. Why would you want to even take away that status from St. Catherine as the largest parish? Because certainly, if you turn St. Catherine into two parishes, then St. Catherine will lose that status of the largest parish. So it means that St. Catherinian, I don't want that to happen. So this nasty government can go to hell with them corrupt practices.
Exactly.
When the JLP people they need to do right now is take a look at themselves in the mirror and ask themselves if they even qualify for a contest a general election. With the leader of 28 bank accounts, 3 of them existing with $473 million. Yeah?
Exactly.
Remember the man, you know, have him statutory declaration, can't certify for 4 years now.
Yes.
From 2021. That is a criminal offense in itself. We see where more bank account with 0 account, criminal offense that. We create shell companies. We see him participation in the SSL scandal. Until this very moment that him alone was to get back 143,000 US, amounting to 22 million Jamaican dollars. The I cannot get back nothing yet. So we know say Andrew Holness is a mastermind when it comes to criminality and corruption. So we, as Jamaican, we not gonna have this man a try to pursue no form a legacy in a Jamaica. Because it's not credible to get them type of legacy there where people in years and years to come about say, well, then him and the Prime Minister will change St. Catherine and turn Portmore into a parish. Go resurrect back over Port Royal, man. It want to the parish if you want to bring back parish status. If you want to increase the parishes them in Jamaica. Remember, Port Royal was a parish, you know. But develop it up. You have some land over there where you can develop, man. Leave Portmore alone. Because Portmore have some strategic boundaries where you want to increase your size and your majority, you know. But we not gonna allow you to do that. Because me say, you know, credible international people them look upon you as a garbage. You're the worst prime minister the world has ever seen. You understand? So we can't have you try to gain a legacy, you know. Yeah, you have the 44, yeah, the 49, I mean, in a parliament. We know you're going to dominate the lower house. But nobody up at the upper house now will cross. So you should have scrapped the idea there.
All right.
Okay, so it seems like melting pot are frozen there, right? So let us just move on until
one last point, Sir Byron. You know the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
The Prime Minister is desperate to have something in his portfolio to show accomplishments, because when we read off Norman Manley, Michael Manley, PJ Patterson, Portia Simpson, the institution they have built in Jamaica and their legacy to show it as rewarding for all the people of Jamaica, regardless of party affiliations. He has nothing to show for the 9 years. So I guess he figured this is one could be something in his legacy before he get voted out of the politics.
Okay, well, I think that I think you're wrong about that.
Okay.
Pastor Ricky, because the Prime Minister of SSL legacy.
Big legacy
that. Mistake. Let me just say that to me it's one big distraction, and then when it comes to a whole heap of distraction to take away your focus off of what it really should be, and it's their failure to deliver over 9 years. Failure to deliver. And by the way, a couple more things. Melting pot is saying for go over Port Royal to do it. You can't do it because there's a lawsuit over there. There's a man who did join forces with the government to develop Port Royal, and with them withdraw the services, them withdraw from the contract because the man knows about man starts to well, and you know the way it's supposed to work. He's supposed to give up the leases who can own shops and things like that over there, and then go behind the man back and I try a thing. So that in a court right now, so you can't touch over there. So the other thing is you say I'm the worst prime minister. True, but him also the busiest. Because I'm the only prime minister with 19 agencies in his portfolio. And then him talk about legacy. You remember him go over the church over Washington Boulevard and Mullines Road, go talk about sniff and talk about him legacy. You leave legacy to the historians and the sociologists and the people. You just do what you're supposed to do. You know more about legacy. All of the people we say have legacy, Marcus Garvey and the people, they never worry about legacy, they never worry about working for the people.
Exactly.
And legacy come after. So to me, this is just a distraction and waste of time with him. And you're right, the icon get back no money and him get fee money. So you don't know that one. All right. Bless up for that punch there, Ratigan. And yes, Melting Pot, thank you for that punch that you had just delivered. Now, where we are going next is to show two of the Prime Minister primary legacies. One, SSL, so we have to correct Pastor Ricky with that. Right? And two, we are going to go into the corruption index without no joke.
Yeah.
No joke about this. Right? Andrew Holness administration had synced the corruption index 4-digit downwards. This is serious.
Yeah.
As it relates to what it is saying to us in Jamaica, that okay, put the partisan politics aside and look at Andrew Holness administration. Andrew Holness administration, and I'm going to show the evidence. Andrew Holness administration think the corruption index by 4 digits downward. So this is telling you, right, that the history of us as it relates to the corruption index, we had never passed 44. And you know what? it is Mark Golding who make it reach 44. I have the evidence to show tonight.
Yeah.
But Andrew Holness administration now reduced that 4-digit downward. Amazing. So regardless of how people want to spin it as it relates to the Jamaican Labour Party think tank and spin machine, right? They have to deal with that. That internationally speaking, right? People are saying the international body is saying the Andrew Holness administration is corrupt. And there is no, they can't dispute that. So regardless of what some people may have to say in Jamaica, right? The international entities now is saying that the Andrew Holness administration, you understand, is corrupt. They sink the corruption index by 4-digit downwards. Amazing. So let us get into that. Let us bring up the corruption index and get into that, and then we just go to the panel and interact again. The first one, CPI 25. Right, let us get into that just to show people, right? The evidence is here. So, regardless of the Prime Minister is saying that we are telling lie on him and social media, right? Well, the information is here. So this is beyond social media, right? This is beyond social media. So let us get into this, right? The government sometimes manipulated GDP data. We are not going to get into that. Where is the data? Let us get into the data as it relates to Americas. I just want people to see it. Here it is, people. 2025 data. Let us show that it is a 2025 data, right? So here it is. A level of corruption perception index 2025. We're not telling no lie on the Prime Minister. You're not telling any lie on the Prime Minister, right? It is here, the world economics. It is here. And what they are saying here it is. Here it is. Let us show Jamaica. There it is, people. 40.3 downward from 44. Andrew Holness administration alone think it 4-digit downward. Let us show the proof. Let me just show them the proof as it relates to why the Jamaican people need to vote for the People's National Party. No doubt. Let me show you the solid proof, right, of what Mark Golding did to bring up the corruption index to 44. Mark Golding had done that. So let us show that. Let us show. Here it is, people, right? For immediate release, summary overview of Transparency International 2023 Corruption Perception Index with focus on Jamaica, right? The Jamaica Position on Transparency International 2022 Corruption Perception Index country ranking has remained unchanged for 2023. On the other people, Jamaica continues to be ranked at 69 of 180 countries. The TI's 2023 CPI rankings were released today, January 30, 2024 at 1:01 a.m. Jamaica 2022 CPI score out of 100 were 0, where 0 means highly corrupted. The worst it can be, highly corrupted, and 100 means very clean, has also remained unchanged. So let me just explain that a bit. It simply means on the corruption index, anything fall below 50, right, is highly corrupted. Anything that go above 50, you understand, is clean, is in the clean. So Jamaica 2023 CPI score of 44 out of 100, sorry, continues to stand as the best score ever. 44, but you want to know why? I'm going to show you now. It was previously attained in 2017. So here's the evidence where the 44, right, where Jamaica sit on the corruption index was as a result of the 2017, where Mark Golding as it relates to the Integrity Commission bill crafted in 2017, as it known as the Integrity Commission Act 2017, has caused Jamaica to lift, right, to 44, right? This is Mark Golden doing. It was previously attained in 2017, 2018, 2020, and 2021. In the 22 years, look, listen, people, the TI has been ranked in Jamaica. The country has averaged a CPI score of only 38 out of 100. Prior to its 2017 CPI score of 44 out of 100, Jamaica had never scored higher than 41. Its CPI score in 2015, Jamaica's lowest CPI score over ever was 30, recorded in 2009. Let us ask the people and let us reason with this. Who was in government 2009? Bruce Golding. So under the Bruce Golding era, let me teach the people on this. Under the Bruce Golding era, there's the record 2009. The corruption index, right? Jamaica's score was 30. The lowest that's ever been. I am telling people that when it comes to the Jamaica Labour Party administration, right, they are highly corrupted and documented. Now, Jamaica CPI jumped in 2017. There's the proof. There's the proof. Ranking came in the same year that Parliament passed a long-awaited anti-corruption law, the Integrity Commission Act. There is a proof. There is a proof. Take it away, honey. Let me talk to my people.
Yeah.
We work around here. We work with evidence. Evidence. Facts. To show our Jamaican electorate today going to the poll to look on the evidence, look on the record, and understand that Jamaica Labour Party administration is corrupted to the core. Right? Corrupted to the core. And remember, it is the People's National Party, right, who have sent more than 7 Jamaica Labour Party members of Parliament to prison. We have the evidence. We have the evidence. And let us ask the question, why the Jamaica Labour Party, regardless of all the accusation that PNP is corrupt, PNP is this and PNP is that, right? Why the Jamaica Labour Party cannot put one People's National Party through the judiciary and found him guilty? Why? Right? I don't want no one come and tell me nothing about Kern Spencer. Kern Spencer has gone through the legal system, gone through the judiciary process, and found not guilty. And found not guilty. So I don't want anyone to go there. Right? Because the court, with our well-learned friend, you understand, I tried that case and found no corruption. Right? So let us speak truth to terms. Right? The People's National Party had sent roughly about 7 members of Parliament from the Jamaica Labour Party to prison for what? Mingling in taxpayers' money. Funneling taxpayers' money and put it into their personal use. Yes. So we have that. Now, Brother Ratty, let me have you start the mission. What does this mean for the Jamaica Labour Party administration? Knowing to the fact that, of course, 2017 Integrity Commission Act, right, as it relates to what crafted by Mark Golden and also held to pass by Andrew Holness, right? Now that we have seen that Andrew Holness administration is now guilty as charged to have now a status losing 4 digits in the corruption index. What say you on that? And how it look as it relates to the politics relating to the Jamaica Labour Party administration? Yes, go ahead.
Well, I don't worry about the Prime Minister and his cronies because they'll be fine. I worry about the people of Jamaica. Because here's what let's go back to the Integrity Commission Act of 2017. It was heralded, shepherded in by the Prime Minister. It was started under the opposition, well, the PNP government, led government, and it was completed meaning signed and into law by this administration. And one of the first things that happened was the Prime Minister went to the chairman and said, listen, or the executive director, Mr. Christie, and said, listen, I need some training, you know, anti-corruption and good governance training. And that training was provided. And after the training, the Integrity Commission said, okay, we need you to sign on to the Nolan principles, the 7 principles of good governance. And up to today, they have not signed that. That should have given a clear signal that they have no interest in having integrity, in being transparent, in good governance. That when I saw that, I said, yeah, we go down the hill now, because that's what it means. You ask for training, you get it, you seminar, sign it, right? The opposition party has to the best of my knowledge, every single member in parliament has signed on to the 7 Nolan principles. Now, so we'll talk about the code of conduct. I predicted a while back that when the corruption index come out, that Jamaica was going to lose a few points. And it never take no real, insight on a real research for me come up with this. You know why? Because right in front of us, we were all witnesses to it. We see a prime minister with statutory declarations that could not be certified, that were not certified. Last year, we say an investigation conducted where the man have 28 bank accounts. During COVID, the man established 3 companies. For a 3-year period, we have $400 and something million run through the companies them. Then he turned around and he said to the Integrity Commission when they said, look, there might be an element of illicit enrichment here, so we need some information from him. So me nah go no. You think Integrity Commission now, the integrity, you mean you think the index people them, the corruption index people, them now watch that? You think them now watch that? Plus, don't forget, we shouldn't forget that we have a convicted criminal now named Leslie Campbell. And why was he? He was convicted for breaching the Integrity Commission Act of 2017. He's waiting to be sentenced, and I'm hoping that the judge will follow the footsteps of the judge will sentence Menendez to 10 years or 8 years or whatever, and sentence him. Him only face 6 months in prison, and I think it's $1 million fine, something like that. But no, we don't want to fine. We want him to go to prison. Plus, we mustn't forget that Marissa Dalrymple Philibert, the former Speaker of the House, former MP, she has returned. She has been returned as MP. That she has faced charges too. She has faced some serious charges, and I'm telling people, go and look at the evidence, because the evidence speaks for itself. I don't want to speak for the evidence. Go read the report and you will see for yourself, right? So when you look upon all of them things there, you say to yourself, of course the corruption index, the number will go down. And as you mentioned, the lower the number, the more corrupt you are. Anything below 50 means you're very corrupt. Yes. Now, what does this do for the people of Jamaica? Because the Prime Minister have money, all of them have their money, and we have suspicions, and in some cases we have proof where the money come from, right? But we'll put that for another argument. Here's what's going to happen now. When a country is declared to be very corrupt, it affects business interests. People from outside don't want to come in and invest, and especially the American companies, because they have 2 laws right now, where one is if them offer a bribe, and 2 is if somebody if them offer a bribe, them face criminal penalties. And if somebody in Jamaica asks for a bribe, or if they never ask for the bribe, but them take a bribe, them face criminal penalties too. Then you have the problem of development. How you going to develop a society that is corrupt? Then you have one about, and this is critical, the perception. And sometimes perception more powerful than reality. The perception that Jamaica is a corrupt society, and under whose watch? The people who said, we are making anti-corruption efforts as a priority for our administration. And look at what them do. How can you trust them? How can you trust them going into an election to give them? Oh, by the way, I need to make a point here. Anytime you hear the little fool argument about them tell you that, oh, you know, the PNP, this happened 18 years under the PNP, this happened, you know, 17 years, this happened. Just remind them that, listen, the PNP is not an issue here, because in 2016, this government, this party campaigned and said the PNP wrecked the country, give us a chance to fix it. Now, when you run for election, you don't run for election and re-election at the same time. You run only for election, so you run for only one term at a time, 5 years. And they promised the people that they would fix all the ills besetting the country for the previous 17, 18 years. They said, we're going to fix it. First 5 years come, what happened? It get worse. Second term, it was a wrong. And then now they're going to say, well, what, another term? No, man. No, man. People fool, but people not fool. No, it can't work.
All right. Solid point. Solid punches.
I gotta look up that word in the dictionary. What's our
Yes. Solid input, solid punches from Brother Rattigan there. And yes, melting pot, as we have and as you have seen, right, during the Bruce Golding era, where the corruption index hit the lowest that's ever been, right, 30, right, on the corruption index. And however, right, the People's National Party, as it relates to Mark Golding's effort in crafting, right, the corruption bill, right, that ushered in 2017 by the Jamaican Labour Party administration. But here we are, what we have witnessed now, that the corruption index that had, where Jamaica had risen to 44, right, being the highest ever, right, has now ripped apart by 4-digit downwards, right? Now, the responsible party for that is Andrew Holness administration. And let me give you one reminder in terms of what Andrew Holness had done. The effort that Andrew Holness made, right, to remove the corruption after it relates to the illicit enrichment under the Corruption Act, right? All of that being observed. The Prime Minister's Statutory Declaration cannot be certified, right? And more of his legacy in SSL, and this wonderful legacy that now clouded, that his administration sink in the corruption index by 4-digit. What say you, Melting Pot, where that is concerned? Melting Pot.
Is he frozen?
Okay. Part of it. Okay. All right, Melting.
As usual, anytime the GLP in our power, you know everything take a nosedive, everything goes south. So it's no surprise that the corruption index take a nosedive as well, because all these corrupted, you know, allegation and what we see are go on in the country, the outside world have view it as well. So these people who are there to present us with a corruption index annually, they were taking note. Because when a Prime Minister was struck out a critical part of the Integrity Commission Act, where him was a part of it, it tell you where the country is going as it relates to corruption. Because him don't want the party night where them can, you know, investigate them wealth. You understand? I wish the Delray Chuck come and make the same assertion, passing on these information to members within their party that their wife and kids must not, you know, give no clarity upon them statutory, you know, money where them have.
Yes.
So we know say the whole entire party is based and run under corruption activity. The only heap of cocaine we are coming at Jamaica. And you don't hear nothing from the hierarchy. The Prime Minister don't make no speech on it. The Minister of National Security him silent. The heads of the GSCF them, such as the Commissioner for Police, them dumb too, you know. And when you look upon all the murder we are going in Jamaica, where them see the police them are kill the people them unnecessarily, and then put out publications say shoot out. Them the farm some of the corruption index as well. So it's no surprise when Jamaica lose 4 points. And we're lucky them never drop in at the 30s. Them are hang on the 40s. You understand? Because this is why we have to show to the people, you know. And we use all them narrative you have to outline to the people, so the two parties not the same.
Exactly.
You see mark improvement when the PMP is in administration. Everything is on the rise. Even job. When the Labour Party them in a power, you know, everything goes south. Because remember them money are gold digger, you know. Them dig out the wealth out of the country. And they don't have any idea of replacing the wealth. You understand? Because not like them deal with investment, you know. These people with them deal with this Ponzi scheme.
All right.
This is what them deal with, you know. Then this is why we have all these agency money tie up in a SSL wagon. The agency, them not get it back, you know. I remember we not get no clarity from neither Nigel Clark nor the Prime Minister upon that, you know. But the money they gone. Because the Prime Minister see it fitting to take the money from these 5 agencies and put it in a Ponzi scheme where him and him friend them are run. And everybody know that go. Him rob the agency them money, technically, through a Ponzi scheme. So we know all these things that we know, say, international people, they must look upon Jamaica, they must scrutinize the country, they must scrutinize the leader, they must scrutinize the cronies them around him. So I hope them take note of the index and know so the index is an indication so they've been watched. If they weren't being watched and monitored, the index would remain the same. But the fact that the index depreciate, it shows that the people, them eyes are on the prize.
On the prize, yes.
And who is the prize? The prize.
All right. It seems like Melting Pot having some Wi-Fi issue there, right? And so then, Pastor Ricky, you have seen time and time the Prime Minister come out, and the Prime Minister spoke as it relates to social media vloggers, right? That we are telling lie on the Prime Minister, right? And so forth. And, you know, he went on ranting, right? That we are putting out misinformation and disinformation. But here tonight, you have as evidence to prove as it relates to the corruption index is actually saying what we are saying as it relates to the level of corruption that the Prime Minister administration involved. What say you in this matter?
Well, the proof is in the pudding. And so what this revealed that the criminal Prime Minister is a pathological liar, and he's been exposed not only from we who are doing deep dive investigation and presenting the facts and the truth, but remember, England last year gave $19 million to attorney Daniel Archer Watch Group to fight against bribery. So when we think of corruption, it's a widespread net. It's not only what the IC report and the IC report on the Prime Minister as money laundering. When we look at 3 Citibank's account from the 28 banks account onshore, it reveals that one of them has $713,000 US. The other bank account has $67,000 US in it. The other bank account has $51,000 US in it. And so it speaks to money laundering as it relates to moving money from banks to banks. And then when we look at tax evasion, having 3 companies that file nil taxes when we identify over $473 million passing through those entities. And when we look
Yeah,
at
you
the
can't
grand
lie about it.
scheme of melting pot, mute your mic, please. Yeah, when we look at the grand scheme of not only tax
Yeah,
evasion,
but
but when we look at
my plate
conspiracy
I
to
speak
commit
up.
fraud,
I don't
when
know.
when we realize that Beretta gave him a $50 million loan for
Brother
with
Ives.
no with three proposed collaterals, that he proposed $10 million in land and so forth, and he never had the collaterals at the time. So when we look at the abuse of power, the bribery that's going on, buying out banks, managers to get them to be a part of the collusion in allowing a business partner to go to an ATM and deposit $4 million from 20 different transactions at the ATM, which is, we would have been arrested for doing something like that to cover up the paper trail. So, and like Melting Pot also talk about the human rights violation as it relates to the JCF, unaliving youths that were not armed and then lie on them and says, based upon the videos we saw, that they were armed. And so it's a widespread of corruption. I'm very surprised that this didn't start, the corruption perception index didn't start lowering back last year, 2024, because the prior year SSL, the bottle came out and exposed over $4.5 billion in defraudment of investors. So that trigger into 2024 and lower the index some. And then this year, with the IC report coming out last year that reveals all of this criminality, financial irregularities, should I even dip it even further? So as you said very eloquently, Sir Byron and Sir Melting Pot, this will turn off foreign investors to want to come and invest in Jamaica. And as a result, this will hurt the economy. And if it hurts the economy, it's going to hurt the average citizens of Jamaica. So this criminal prime minister needs to go. He's disqualified from being prime minister. He brought Jamaica into disrepute, and this corruption perception index, CPI, reveals another dark day under this government.
Well said. Well said, Pastor Rick, and I glad you spoke about the earthing extension of turning off investors as a result of the level of corruption that being administered by this Jamaica Labour Party administration. Yes, Melting Pot, you're in your thing. Did you finish, or you want to be allowed some time to finish your points that you were making earlier? Are you okay?
Well, the point I was making earlier is just that, Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. The point I was making earlier was simple that, international authorities is taking close look at what is happening in Jamaica.
Exactly.
And as we rightly
Exactly.
said, it's a knock-on effect because, it's driving away investors from investing in Jamaica. It's damaging to the social life in Jamaica as well. And everything is just, grind to a halt when you have corruption. Because corruption does not enhance, Corruption destroy. And, people is suffering because of the high level of corruption. You see where everything has, basically at a standstill in the economy, grind to a halt. We are seeing where the United Nations has put out a report that 77.3% of Jamaican citizens are literally hungry, can't feed themselves.
Wow, terrible.
We are looking at critical areas in our society like hospital, where a gentleman lost his life because of a nebulizer not being available.
Yes.
You understand? We're seeing overseas visitor can't even get sanitary toilet tissue.
It's a disgrace.
It's a disgrace.
It's a disgrace.
We are looking at our patient on the road have to be put in a pickup truck taken to hospital because there are no ambulances. And we are seeing where our policemen are now in balaclava and with rucksack on their back. That don't look good.
No.
That is a sign of corruption as well. And with all the dirty antics that the JCF members are carrying out and they are not being brought before any form of justice from within the JCF. No justice panel to remove these men from frontline duty or charge them where they see possible. So, I mean, that is corruption on a broad scale that everyone is taking notice of. And remember also that United States put out level 3 and level 4 travel advisory in the country. And one was for health and one was for crime. So
yes.
Yeah.
There you have it.
One more point, Sir Byron. Remember, the Jamaica government spends annually $120 million in the fight against corruption. So over the lifespan of this JLP government from 2016 to present, it's close to $1 billion. But yet, corruption is rampant and widespread throughout this government all these years.
Exactly.
Waste of taxpayers' funds.
Yes, solid point, solid point. Now, let us get into something that I have been speaking, right? I mean, weeks upon weeks, right? And I'm glad that Usain Bolt, right, finally came out, right? And, you know, speak out, right, as it relates to what I have been saying here. And we have seen where Nigel Clark, who got up in Parliament, right, and told lies that over 1,200 and odd persons had gotten back their money. We are going to show the proof tonight of what Nigel Clark said. And now they are trying to, you know, pretty that up in saying that, okay, they didn't mean like cash, they mean like assets and so forth. All sort of nonsense. Where he came out and said that over 1,200 and odd people had gotten back, right, their money. 70% of persons had gotten back their money in SSL, and not one person. And this is the viciousness of Andrew Holness, Hugh Cross-Kerry. This is the viciousness of Andrew Holness and Hugh Cross-Kerry. I can't out tonight. You understand? Because definitely the investors need to get back their money. But the Jamaican Labour Party administration allowed Hugh Cross-Kerry to lift up and leave Jamaica. Lift up and leave Jamaica because he knows what is coming down in the pipeline. Right? And so they want to fix up their thing because Hugh Cross-Kerry is not here. So when the DPP talking about one vital evidence need to be submitted, right? Is that vital evidence is with Hugh Cross-Kerry? Because you know, make sure someone so make him down. So we want to know if that vital evidence, right, is with Hugh Cross-Kerry whole cooking up. So without any delay, let us hear what Bolt have to say. See, I've been preaching this and preaching the lie, but I'm glad that Usain Bolt came out, right, to support what I have been saying all along. The lie and the cover-up, right? The lies and the cover-up, right? The wickedness of this administration, right? So let us hear what Mr. Bolt has to say.
People may not get back my money. I'll stop. Because I hear people say, oh, you say, the money say you the quiet. So, but me I tell people, me not get back my money, people. So they stop see me and I ask them, get back my money.
Is there any way like you probably think about suing? Like, and who you sue? Like, is there thoughts of suing?
So what are things floating around is a master, but at some point we have to figure out something and make a move. Because you can't just lose all of that stuff.
Yeah.
The whole part running hours that. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, the minister speaking to hurt Jamaica a lot. Because now it come down and everybody has to look and I say, Jaja, so I try avoid that as much over the 2 years. But me not see no, I can't say it and feel good and say, you know what? Hey, but no, at some point I have to start saying something.
Yeah.
Because I not see nothing. Clearly, it look like I'm gonna apply some pressure.
Right.
Or do something or start make a whole lot of questions being asked. But I get back now.
Yes. Take it away. Let me talk to both. I am speaking to both directly. And let me say to both, because, you know, we are going to break it down tonight. Sir Both, you're not going to get back $1. I want that both you want me to say.
That's right.
Both, let me say this to you. You are not going to get back $1. I am going to show you why. The government, right, is in line with the corruption. The government involved in SSL. But you're not going to get back $1. Just like I have been saying all along, that Nigel Clark lied to the entire Jamaican people. Let me show the document as it relates to Nigel Clark lied about the SSL. Report and that people are getting back their money. Lie, vicious, wicked. Now, without any delay, let us lift up this document, the link. Let us just show the Jamaican people, right, why Bolt is not going to get back his money. So let me just show Bolt. Right, so let us just get into this, show people the evidence that, I mean, Mystic Sensation is not telling any lies, right, and so forth. So we have to show the evidence in terms of what we are saying here. So just bear me some patience. Just bear me some patience, people, as it relates to this document, because I want to go back to the document, right, and to show people, right, the careless lie. The careless lie that, you know, Nigel Clark told, right? So let me just resend. I need to resend it. It's there. Just there. Okay. Now, let us look on the careless lie here. Let us look on the careless lie. Nigel Clark, good arm, I've done this. As a matter of fact, I'm not even, no. Look at this. The fraud at Stocks and Security Limited is of public interest. The Financial Investigation Division has reported that the fraudulent schemes are now estimated to have affected over 200 accounts, and the extent of the fraud exceeds $3 billion. Okay. Now, let us look into this, right? Temporary management, transfer of accounts, right? So we are going to read the 2.2 transfer of local securities, and we are going to read transfer of the proceeds of international securities. Look at the blatant lie, people. 2.2 transfer of local securities. Transfer began in September and as of April 16, 2024. This is what Nigel Clark is saying in bulletin point number 1. 1,230 clients' accounts totaling approximately 15.37 billion of local equity and fixed income securities were transferred to accounts specified by these clients. Want to see the wickedest lie that the man might tell? Eh? And Bolt, who have the majority, that's why I'm glad how Bolt came out, you know. Right? Bolt, who has the majority, has not been caught. Nobody, not one of them in the SSL, not one of the investors had got back in the money. Look at these people. Jamaican dollar cash of approximately 665 million of 338 clients has been paid over to these clients. And I mean, look here, and I mean, say that, you know, the evidence here, Jamaican dollar cash of approximately 665 million for 338 clients has been paid over to these clients. Hey, look here. I said this Jamaica Labour Party administration, me I tell my boy. Hi, boy. Therefore, a total of 16.35 billion in approximately CTL paper, 70% of Jamaican dollar-denominated assets held in SSL off-balance sheet portfolio have now transferred to clients. Take that away, people. Take that away. No one want to show the evidence. You know. I only want to show the evidence. I only want to show the evidence. No, Ratty, you and I are going to drill down and tell the people as it relates to what is going on. Right? So let us break it down for the people. Right? And let us also break it down for both. Now, for example, let me use you and myself. Right? You be the wealth advisor, and I am both. Well, I wish I am both, but I'm not rich. All right. Watch this now. I come to you as the wealth advisor. I want to show the people what's happening. And I said, okay, I am going to give you $5 million US first, right, to the wealth advisor. The wealth advisor, right, recorded it. And of course, put that money in SSL account, main account. Because all investors, the money that they collected, right, would go into SSL portfolio account. All of that money would go into SSL portfolio account. I want Jamaican people to understand where I'm going in. Now, as it relates to start the investigation, that said to us that as early as board put that money into, right, the SSL entity, right, is as soon as it came out.
Vanish.
I'm asking you, as it relates to MOCA, as it relates to any investigative entity in the Jamaica Constabulary Force, as it relates to FID. Now, what's the story? FP, the Financial Service Commission, had done their investigation and found out that, okay, over 200 other accounts being affected. And so then while SSL record is showing that and show that that 200 and odd accounts, Brother Ratty, right, total over $4.8 billion. So while that is recorded through SSL, right, and where SSL transfer that into SSL personal portfolio account at the bank, whichever bank they use. You understand? I wouldn't surprise that it is NCB. Now, what's this now, Ratty, and the question that I am asking? As it relates to investigation, that the money, as Paul put it in, it missing. I am asking a question. Why is it difficult for FID or any investigators to have an understanding, okay, who withdraw the money? Because the fact of the matter, right, when they investigated as it relates to the banking entity, that whole SSL account, the money that recorded through SSL system, physical check for that money was not accounted for. That money is missing. So then, the question that Mystic Sensation is asking Ratty, who withdraw the money? So when they went and get FID, and FID done their investigation, comprehensive report, and recommended for persons to be charged, who are these persons to be charged? So Ratty, I am asking a personal question. Wouldn't it be traceable to the fact that it goes into the banking system, right? So then the person who do the deposit, right, would have been recorded, the responsible persons who had done the deposit. No, let's look at the withdrawal process. Wouldn't that the bank would have to account as it relates to who withdraw the money, Ratty?
Yep.
Talk to us on that, Ratty.
Yeah, this is elementary. A simple investigation. Like you said, money went in, money went out. Follow the money. Who put the money in, who take the money out. But God helps those who help themselves. And I can tell you that it's very, very sad to see what happened to the icon. But the icon never really do much to help himself either. And I'll tell you why. Because if you recall in October 2022, when this thing came to light, the icon had a law firm named Freighter, Ennis and Gordon. Freighter, Ennis and Gordon. And if you recall what they did, they issue a demand letter and said, we want the money within 10 days, the money should have been returned in early November 2022. And what happened after that? When I hear not more from the icon, not more from the law firm. If me that I represent him would have up on the top of the mountain and scream out and would have filed all kinds of lawsuits to get back my money. 2 years gone, and we know the strategy with them using in Jamaica. We see it happen all the time. We see it happen with Grace McLean over at the Ministry of Education. We see it happen with the gentleman over at Water Commission. They make the time run out, the statute of limitation expire, and you can't go after them. We see it happen all the time. Even though Grace McLean still can be sued, she and the former permanent secretary for the Ministry of Education, them still have a fraud action. But guess what? The statute of limitation will run this year. And if them don't do it, and I think it's early, I think it's like mid this year. If them don't do it, there's no money to be returned. The surcharge action is completely barred. So they now get back the 127 million, and nobody's going to prison. So the icon should have in law firm. I don't know why they never do it, but if I remember, I don't know if you recall, I even put out a public appeal to him and said, Hussein, call me, me can help you. I don't know who I represent, but I can't work with him, I can't help you, he not call me. And so now, him still not get no money and him I go through with all of this. But here's another piece now, why the whole thing, and it's about time now that I can come out and start make a whole heap of noise. Putting that aside, you ask the question about investigation, money in, money out, simple trace to figure out who took money. Here's what make it even simpler. Remember, CTAC was involved in the investigation. The FBI was involved in the investigation. And Kroll was involved in the investigation. Fed was involved in the investigation. You're telling me now, so them 4 agencies there, them can't figure out all the money going, all the money come out? Come on, man. Come on. Come on, they have to do better than that, man. And then also, don't forget, computer jump out through window, crime scene contaminated. Them appear people to give them access to
15 million.
Yeah.
15 million.
You ever hear this? The money missed, and you have the same people them working at the organization. You have them at work and at. No, nothing can go so. Nothing can go so, but it goes so. I say go. I say go. I say go. And you know what? Them take the people them for food. Them take the people them for food. Because them just come and just say things like that, and people just believe like that. And then with them do them just throw a distraction over there, so and the other will just turn and go so and forget to SSL the right or so, right? And then when over here so catch a fire, them turn over here so. And we come over here so and forget so over there so catch a fire, SSL there so education, infrastructure, housing, national security, foreign affairs, we forget about the whole thing. But time change. Time change. So people want to know, pay attention to what going on this program, you know. Right? Exactly. Pay attention to what going on with Melting Pot program, Pastor Ricky program, Mystic Sensation, my program, Lonesome and the rest of the program. I want to pay close attention because we are drawing attention to things we're heretofore who would have never know about what going on.
Exactly.
Can't forget the stuff. We need to pay attention to what going on because this is how them operate, you know. This is how them operate. And I mean, I tell you what, I forget, Mystic him kudos because I don't know of anyone out there who know this SSL investigation And the intricacies, the nuances better than Mystic. Mystic know this thing inside out. So here's what happen, people.
Thank you.
Even if me don't know, I'm hear Mystic talk, me I believe Mystic over the government. Me I believe Mystic over the government. Because Mystic know what I want and Mystic put up him evidence. So you see the government put up nothing. We don't talk to FBI and come. I'm just in the FBI and no.
All right.
What is the
Well said, my boss.
What is now? You know, so our report was stable on the 24th.
Go ahead.
Our report was stable on the 24th of September 2024, you know. Yeah. Coming out of the Financial Service Commission. All right. The FSC remained resolute in its mission to facilitate the fair treatment of SSL investors. The vigilant oversight is crucial to ensuring that SSL meets its obligation to client in a timely and transparent manner, in alignment with the legal and regulatory framework established by the Securities Act. Executive Director of FSC, Lieutenant Colonel Kieran Burrell said. Now, this man said the people might get back their money, you know. This man are the director for FSC, right? So he was privy to all of these ongoing investigation, yeah? And him tell the people them say they might get back their money. But what happened? That was just a PR. That was a distraction. So we find, say, well, then this SSL saga rumbles on and on and on. But one prime individual, you know, will have to be at the brunt of this, you know, at the Prime Minister. Because I'm the only man we see so far we get back money. You understand? So we want to know if it was an in-house trading or it was privy to what was going on directly. In my calculation, I think he was privy to what was going on directly. It was a part of the demise of SSL. Because based on what we are looking at, you know, this is a well-constructed criminal activity. That's even the money cannot be traced. The money disappear. It's not traceable. And they want to pin this upon one individual. But listening to the icon in his interview, the icon said this woman alone can't move the money. That's something that we've been echoing all along. You know? So the Prime Minister, he need to be grilled by some independent investigator where he not have no form of affiliation with it. You understand? And make sure you put the lie detector upon him as well. Yeah, this is the only way we're going to get to SSL and what went on with SSL investors' money. You have to have a lie detector upon Andrew Holness. And you put him in front of some people where you don't know, some top investigator. Yeah? Because Andrew will never answer to any local counterpart who are going to investigate him, you know. Because I'm superior to them, the way I'm set up him regime and we have around him and facilitate him corruption. You understand? This is why I went in a stalemate with the Integrity Commission. This is why the Integrity Commission had to abruptly conclude the investigation and then involve FID. Because Andrew Wallace has played the master dan. So we have to make sure no say, if we get to the bottom of SSL saga, we have to literally move it away from the local investigating team. You can't say you're going to look for Mocha and C-Tax and them garbage agency there no more. You have to go outside of Jamaica
Exactly.
And get some real investigator come in and make sure them bring the lie detector for put for Andrew Wallace. That's the only way we're going to get to the bottom. But we have idea where the money gone, you know. And we know the money I move from when we know the money spent in our election and investing in some other panty scheme and, you know, we know where we're going. But I mean, we have to make sure no say, Usain Bolt now start talk to some CNN reporter, BBC, them, you know, them people love them type of story, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't say, well, then you want to uphold the image of Jamaica when them never uphold your status as the icon for Jamaica. If Jamaica if you go on it and rise again, we could bring it on it and rise it back. Yes. Because you can only curb corruption when you dismantle corruption to the fullest. You can't play with corrupted people. You can't give them no leverage because them don't deserve it. So Andrew Holness and him regime, Usain Bolt should have them all over the world media, them man. All down in Australia when they. Yeah, don't stop the report on these nastiness. You understand? And then now Usain Bolt, you better move swiftly for pay back in money. Boy, Usain Bolt, they make a lot of time elapse. Yeah? And this is why them say, all right, if him stay 2 years, him can wait another 2, make it 4, man. And what them want to do is try win this election now, you know. To shore up them strength now. To make sure no say, them drop a big stone for Usain Bolt when them are sink him. Because them wouldn't give back him money if them win the election. The only way Usain Bolt can get back him money. And next, sheriff have to come in town to deal with that case. Yeah. Under this regime, this case are dead in the water.
Exactly.
Because Usain Bolt should have it CNN, Fox News, BBC, Doma Australia, all worldwide. Because I'm an icon for the world, a track and field.
Exactly.
Then these nastiness now would have to crumble. And they would have find, because they have the money, you know. Them money have Usain Bolt money same way. The money not disappear off of the face of the earth. No. But what them do, try to pin it on one little simple individual. With them no say can't move the amount of money. She can't move the 4.7 billion Jamaican dollars. And she certainly can't move the 31 million US. So you have to make sure no say you put Jean and Panton aside and start doing the real investigating. Make sure no you have Andrew Holness at the forefront of the investigation. Followed by Cross-Creek.
Him gone in.
And then you go and then you move on to the banker where you see the money and move through film entity. Then you can track down Usain Bolt money and the rest of investors.
All right.
But if you know peel back that veil, it will just stay in the water and just let it float till it disappears.
All right.
But we're glad how the icon come out now, you know, because the icon realize, well then, enough time. Because them trick him, you know. Them trick the icon and tell the icon, say, you what, no, that's all on, what deal with that thing. We have to make you get back your money. We don't want you to bring down Jamaica image. And the icon work with that. But the icon say, it not working in favor. Him team now hear from them currently, you know. Communication is of a scarcity. So the icon now realize, well then, boy, you know what, we have to start make some noise.
Exactly.
So when Ratty send call him and him never, you know, respond. And because he was told, don't bother get involved with nobody else, man. We're going to make your thing work out. Yeah? But when you say people fail to understand, say, a corrupted government with corrupted element around them, the end result is that you who are at the bitter end of the stick will never get redress.
Here's a problem.
No, they would never redress it, thing problem.
No,
Because
here's
remember,
what.
you know, them know say fee money in the first place, you know. So if them have sympathy on board, them wouldn't touch him money.
Okay.
As
Here's
gold
what,
money going, it slipped through the back door, you know.
Yes.
Here's what.
Gold money was a catalyst for the 2016 election, you know. That's why them getting at this habit of issuing out money, because them started from them time there. They would have so much money at them disposal, them could have carry out them activity there. And now them not have none, them can't stop it. So them have to find ways and mean of still keep that part of them activity when it comes to them campaign, the issuing of money, buying vote. That's where you see money, most of money end up in a 2016 election, and some investors, some little place about the place. So both have to get some overseas lawyer to come talk on him behalf and investigate the money. And tell the liar them, so don't leave the lie detector for the Prime Minister. He know everything about Usain Bolt money. Yeah, because I'm the main instigator. That's why him alone just to get back money out of it. When it happened, right now the pandemic, you know. At then time the Andrew get active, you know, with the corruption, you know. When the world shut down, you know, literally, you know. This is the way I do. This man heartless, you know. And this is why I can still understand in my headspace how so much Jamaicans still defend this garbage Prime Minister. Yeah? This man have no standing whatsoever upon the world stage as a world leader. This man is garbage material. Scrap him for the pan, him for the behind bars. It don't supposed to run on the face of the electorate ticket. True. Nobody not have him as no man where you have a vote for.
All right. Big input this melting pot, like the powerful punches. I think Vatican want to say something.
Yeah.
Let me just squeeze in Vatican before me.
Two quick points.
Pastor Ricky, give Vatican 2 minutes.
Yeah, man. Two quick points. One is that you see if the icon when them issue the 10-day letter, see when you come to the legal thing, you can't take out your gun and then put it back in your holster. When you take out your gun, you have to fire it. Yes. So once you take it out and say 10 days and more my money back, or otherwise legal action, you should just move forward with it. But no, it's still not too late. I can call me. We can get back. And the second thing is this. You want no mistake, as a trained investigator, here's the problem now with them. You see, you take out the money, right? And now you want to get back to the icon. How you get back to him?
So the problem is
how you get back to him? But it have to come from somewhere. How you get back to him? How much money he said it was? It was
12.7 million.
Yeah. How you give back 12.75 million without a trace? It have to come from some place. And the investigators them can see where it come from.
Yes.
And that is where you call a lead. So them just say, okay, you have 12.75. How you get 12.75 to give back that? It will be a problem. So that's why them can, if them give back the money, them have to go try some surreptitious way to give to him. Them can't give to him in a open way. It can't be transparent. Cannot be. Because the question will be where you get the money there from for give him.
Right. And why are you giving it to him?
Why are you giving it to him? That will be a problem.
Exactly. That's a very good insight there, Brother Ratty. Yeah. Go ahead, Ratty.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Pastor Ricky.
Yeah. You've seen both big respect, icon and legend. You know, I have some good news and bad news. Breaking news. You're gonna have to sue your law firm. Them drop the ball upon you. And you know, you're 12 years late in terms of deciding to speaking out. Speaking to the fix, no disrespect to any social media group. Speaking to TVJ, CVM, it's not gonna help you. Or RJR or IRA FM. As Melting Pot says, you forgot links CNN. You forgot to link the BBC, the Australian news station, and even Canada. And you forgot hire, as Sir Rattigan say, call him our melting pot, say international lawyers and investigator. I believe you have enough money. In order to make money, you're gonna have to spend money. So now you're gonna have to reach internationally, because the players that you embrace, they didn't mean you no well, and they saw an opportunity to take from you what you rightfully earn. And so in order to get this back, you're gonna have to sue your law firm. Them drop the ball upon you. I wouldn't be surprised if them buy out the lawyer where did I work for you. I'm serious, because we're dealing with a culture of corruption and a web of criminality. I mean, SSL saga, it go back to Paul Yang Chung and associate days. Them liquidate it, them come up with cash plus, hold it, and then SSL. So and on the same players, they're all moving from one Ponzi schemes to the next Ponzi scheme. And I'm sure they have another Ponzi scheme going on right now. So in order to get back your 12.5 mil, you're going to have to reach out to the FBI. US currency is involved in this theft. This is the great steal. SSL Ponzi scheme saga, as I said before, is the art of the steal. It's bigger than FinSoc. And the US currency is one of the US interests. The US will go to war for their interests. Anything that is the US interest, they will go for war feet. And the US, you mess it, the currency, that's gonna get Uncle Sam's interest. So because you invest not 12.7 million Jamaica dollars, but 12.7 million US currency, you can get help from the FBI for this. Them lions to them FBI are coming, which we never know, because normally Sir Rattigan can tell you, him living in the States, was a former FBI agent. FBI give briefing, press conference, I should say. And they will, you know, say we're going to Jamaica, but they might not get into the details or the intricacies of it. But them are gonna make you know them have a thing going on. And so you're gonna have to reach out international. This not gonna be resolved in Jamaica. Me I talk directly to both. I'm gonna pray somebody send this tonight's live go give him. He must go reach out internationally. Jamaica, the world, everybody down there connected. It's just a web of corruption and criminality. So if you think you're gonna reach out to a law group in a Jamaica law firm or gonna help you, them have links with those in Parliament and Jamaica House. So forget about solving this in Jamaica. Internationally now, you have to go carry this if you want to get back your money. And in the meantime, sue your law firm. You have to. Them let you down.
Another point.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, one other point.
Right.
This is why Nigel Clark could not use the FBI, you know. Because the FBI is from America. And we're talking
and
about
US currency is involved. At 30 million US.
Right, so Nigel Clark carefully navigate around the FBI and went for crawl. But Nigel Clark told us specifically that the FBI will be on the ground and no stone will be leaving and
Telling lies, you.
But all of a sudden,
all right, see that melting pot having some
one quick one.
Again, I want to take it away because melting pot having some Wi-Fi issue.
About
I'm not hearing.
He's coming in and out. Melting pot, you're going in and out.
I'm not hearing you.
Okay. So what it takes that?
Yeah, one quick one. The icon that have what 12.75 million in the account. And yes, when you check in October 2022, you have $12,047.65. Well, yes, I'll tell him, I'll send a message to him now. Icon. Bring the 12 grand, come give me. Make me and you sit down. And me will give the strategy to get back your money and put people in a prison. Me will represent you. We sign a retainer with me. Give me the 12 grand just to consult with me, and then we'll talk about the retainer after. I mean, guarantee you. I not promise you.
Yeah.
I guarantee you. So if you come sit down with me and you talk, the people are responsible for your money They might go to prison, you'll get back your money. Just come see me.
All right, let me say something.
One last point, Sir Byron.
Hold on.
Okay, sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the DPP will have our eyes upon you like the eagle. Like Lonesome said, the eagle.
Okay.
Because if you think you're going to dash out that case here, the biggest heist of Jamaica taxpayers' money and foreign US currency, 30 million in US currency, and the criminals, them were your friend. If you think you're going to throw away this case, after you leave office, you will be prosecuted because of 30 million US dollar in that case here.
Sorry, I have news for you. Hey, all of the way I say, if she can't do it, she can't do it. Here's what happened. The GLC just absolved her from the Vibes Cartel case and the things that she said about she work with tainted jewelry. I want to know how much people in that prison as a result of her work with tainted jewelry. We're going to show that this Saturday. We have the documentation. We'll show it this Saturday.
All right.
But then we try anything.
Yeah. So you see why them man lose downwards as it relates to the corruption index. And right me I say to you understand? Now we have asked Mr. Bolt, Carl Ratty.
Amen.
Carl Ratty, please. Bolt.
Hashtag. Everybody hashtag. Carl Ratty.
And Ratty. Remember, you know, he's a certified PI, so if any
Then the most man, we have a drag unit, man.
you know, some put out.
That's what people who have to go lock up now. What people have to get locked up.
I put out my CV, you know. So
What people have to get locked up? What people have to get locked up?
Carl Ratty.
Him did them a wait upon Nigel for bringing the FBI.
Yeah.
I don't want to just call me. Call me.
Yeah.
And it's done.
And it's done.
Them have an international corruption unit based out of Miami, but cover the Caribbean. Them have one in Washington, not too far from me. Them have one in LA, and them have one in New York. And this is what them live for. Cases like this, them live for. And Pastor Ricky touched on it. You talk about American dollars and you touch the banking system because remember now, people just going on and people don't walk with suitcase of money anymore. Right? Everything is wire transfer. There's a permanent record of that.
Swift.
Swift. And any transfer come out of Jamaica, almost 100% sure say when touch a Swift system, and the Swift system is the US banking system, and they guard it jealously. Them no want nothing to taint it. And once you can show say them kind of money that touch the banking system, the FBI have jurisdiction,
right?
Not to mention other agencies as well. So
Interpol,
call me.
And that is one of the reasons why, and this is not joking, I don't want that we are talking this on the program and people believe that we are humoring. We are not humoring. It's serious. You understand that both need to get in touch, you understand, with Rattiga.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Simple as that. You understand? Because we are going to take it serious.
It have a strong case.
We know say Phil, you understand, as it relates to Mocha, right? What are they doing? They're not doing anything.
Yeah.
They're not doing anything. So you understand, as I said, both Carl Ratty.
They both have a strong case because at 12.5 million US, that alone give him a strong case. And a Jamaica dollar we are talking about, you know. Uncle Sam currency. Both have a big case because of that.
Again, we are encouraged both. No joke, both. Carl Ratty. Just have a conversation with Ratty. Let us move on. Panel, we are going to talk about meritocracy because people want to have good representation in it. And as it relates to the People's National Party, right, who has selected, right, those candidates to represent us, right, we see some wealth of knowledge surround those candidates. Now we stay on the JLP side, right? An ace mathematician from Portland, the mayor. You understand? I don't think there's nobody in Jamaica can do maths like him. Like he's one of the best in the Caribbean. Right? Okay, the Jamaica Labour Party, right, have him. But now I wonder now if the Jamaica Labour Party really and truly as it relates to MPs in Parliament have a meltdown. Or them just right, certain knowledge. No, we are talking about Juliet Flynn. When Jeannette Flynn got up, right, and she spoke what she had spoken, right, telling utter lie, I have to wonder if really and truly, is it a situation that Jeannette Calder don't really know the history, or she just blatantly lying? Right, now look here, people. Let us move to this. Look at that document. Let us show the world what is happening here. This document. Let us flip up that document. Show the people what is going on. Amazing. Amazing. At what point that we are going to talk about persons who want to represent the people of Jamaica, right, in terms of telling the truth. Now, watch this now. This is Jeannette Calder. The PNP built no hospitals in their lifetime. Want to hear that, people? This is what Jeannette Calder is saying. The PNP built no hospitals in their lifetime. Not one. She doubled down. Poverty levels was 21.6 in 1996 under the PNP government. 18.5 unbroken years of neglect of hospitals, roads. Now something lit down one ahead. No, man. When you hear this, 18.5 unbroken years of neglect of hospitals, roads, and water infrastructures. Not even the yaddest fooding they could fix. Now something really wrong with this lady. All right, put this away. Let me show Jeannette Calder some evidence.
Cuthbertson.
All she for mix up in it. Corruption. So if me
On it yard football team.
Mistake when I deal with corruption, am I right? All right. So now let us find this and show you the hospitals that the PNP built. And here she is. She doesn't do her research, right? Over you know that the people, the Jamaican Labour Party just lack the ability in terms of speaking the truth, right? I think they have really a serious diabolical problem. Now let us find the document, right? Okay, so let us deal with that situation and show, right, the evidence where that is concerned. So here is our again, right? Look at this next one. I'm glad say the gentleman on the panel, the distinguished gentleman on the panel, so the brother, you know, VCM line. One of the distinguished gentlemen on the panel, stood the brother, you know. For the line. You understand? For the tell line and see there. Now go and ask what again. Well, I mean, no, see the reason why he was sued, people. Hear him now. PNP never built a hospital in Jamaica, says Morgan.
The words of a politician cannot be trusted.
Him same one say no. Don't trust the word of a politician. And yet, see the reason why I don't trust him. PNP never built a hospital in Jamaica, says Morgan. St. Elizabeth, Jamaica, member of parliament for Clarendon, North Central, and government minister, right, Robert Morgan. You understand? Has continued to hit back at the opposition People's National Party over the party repeated criticism of the Jamaica Labour Party-led administration. Let me play the video. We're going to hear it. When you hear them, jealous liar.
So when I hear some people talk about governance and government and this and that, if you were such good government, why you never be when you were there? PNP never been a hospital in Jamaica. We did Cornwall Regional, Portmore Hospital, Near Hospital, Supplement Hospital.
Take him away. We don't want to hear nothing more.
Send him outside.
Send him outside. We don't want to hear nothing more from him. All you need to do, and this is why Jamaica people that they are pouring in the poll, because of vicious lies that they continue to tell. So all we need to do, what they really are making look good, they really are making look extremely good. Now, let us go to the evidence. You understand? And show both Morgan, right, and Jeannette Calder that they need to go and do their research, right? Because either they are totally oblivious of the facts, right, or they're totally diabolical. Let us get into the evidence as it relates to, yes. Let us get into the evidence and show the Jamaican people, right, what the evidence is showing here. And look up that information. Let us show the people the evidence where that is concerned. All right, let us get the facts out there. And this information that we are getting, that we are generating, is to provide to the electorate why you need to avoid the Jamaican Labour Party. Here it is, people. The PNP has always prioritized access to quality health care for all Jamaicans. During our tenure, we spearheaded the construction of critical healthcare facilities, including the Princess Margaret Hospital. Come here, Morgan, and come here, Jeannette Calder. The Maypen Hospital and the Portmore Hospital, strengthening healthcare to serve our people. This is what makes up our DNA. Take the time, let me talk to the panel. Bless up yourself, talk your mind. People, remember, you know, talk.
Come on. Big respect.
Veteran soldier, I want to go over and support Talk Your Mind. Because Talk Your Mind, talk it as it is. Big up yourself, Talk Your Mind. Now, Brother Rattigan, let me ask you think something really wrong with Jeannette or Morgan? Do you believe that they just really lack the ability in terms of speaking the truth? Or you know, or they have not done their research, they lack the education? What is it? Because it has to be one of the two. They lack the education, or they are just diabolical liars. Tell us, Rattigan, in terms of your perception.
Look, it's just, we don't have enough time for God, and we have Melting Pot and we have Pastor Ricky. And we know they want to chime in, but let me just say that we have to be kind to children, elderly, animals, and idiots. We have to be really kind to them. And some of these folks, they're not idiots. They can't help themselves. They need professional assistance. Let me start with the Honorable Juliet Cuthbert Flynn. She was an athlete. She was an athlete. And somehow she ended up over as a junior minister in the Ministry of Health. Apparently she was a failure over there. And where did they send her? To one of the most critical ministries in our government, Ministry of National Security. She's over there. No experience in law enforcement. Zero. God, if you look on her CV, she talked about running. She talked about award she get in college. She talked about running for Jamaican. She run from Chalico Picnic, run. But she can't run that ministry. And she's the number 2. Now, we all remember how she cussed out the reporter and tell a lie. So she never tell the reporter, said the people of the constituency must call water commission. We have the videotape for play. We'll play that and show that. She's a liar, right? But then, this is a woman who said in a public forum that the company established by Mr. Golden, Mr. Bunting, and Mr. Deering, that company was under investigation for what? She said it's under investigation for anti-corruption. Not corruption, you know. It's under investigation for anti-corruption. And this is who we have now as our junior minister in the Ministry of National Security. Need I say more? Please be kind to her, sir. Be kind to the elderly. Be kind to women. Be kind to children. Be kind to animals. And be kind to people who are deficient mentally. People who are square pegs in a round, trying to be square pegs in a round. Oh my God. Be kind to them. No, Mr. Morgan, my dear friend, Mr. Morgan, Mr. Morgan, what more can I say about him? And in truth and in fact, I miss him enough because you know, miss the post cabinet thing. You know, we have the lady there right now, and the lady there, she's lost in space. She have no clue what she do up there. She's the one who come out and say there's no missing funds, you know. She's the one who come out and say the economy a boom and tourism are this. And while she said that, what happened? PIOJ come out and say, oh, the economy are contract by 2.8%. And then Statin come out and say it's 3.5. These are the same. So when them people talk, if you have to fact check them, and that is a problem, you know, is a problem I have in Jamaica. Problem I have in Jamaica is with the journalists. I don't think the journalists are doing the things that they should do to hold these people accountable. So true. Them sit down there, and it's not like them don't know. I don't know if it's fear or what, you know, are them lazy. I don't know what it is. But them go to the postcard meetings and them ask some fool question. Them ask some question on my 13-year-old could ask much better questions. And them don't know half as much as what them know. And then when you listen to the answers sometimes of some of them politicians I give, you wonder how people vote for them people, man. How? Well, look, there's a popular refrain, time has come, or time come, or whatever.
Exactly.
I believe that to be the case. 9 years of this foolishness and this corruption and this ineptness and this failure, monumental though it may be. We need to move on. We need to turn the page and move on because Jamaica people, we can't lose our family at that time. Yeah. The first time we could understand and say, okay, I don't want that change. The second time, we get queasy about it, but this time, yeah, we really can't do it because we suffer, you know. And the another lie with them come out and tell. And then, but by the way, the Prime Minister's wife was just here, you know. She was just here this past Saturday, you know, a big dinner, fundraiser. And I filed, before she even come, I filed my ATIs, you know, because she come from Japan and I got Jamaica. And one with the shortest way if we go from Japan to Jamaica is through New York. To the best of my recollection, is through Europe. So me ask question, who pay for the leg of the flight there? Who pay for it? I mean, no, I'm a coach she fly. I mean, I'm most business she fly, right? So we're gonna keep beating the government. We're gonna keep beating the representatives, you know, because they're not doing right by the Jamaican people. There's no transparency here. It's all bad man, is it? All bad. I mean, Melting Pot mentioned it. The Prime Minister set up the Integrity Commission in 2017, 2018, and we do last year. Them go to court and say, we want to get rid of the law, including the Corruption Prevention Act. They want to get rid of the illicit enrichment provision.
Illicit enrichment, yes.
When you hear them kind of things that happen, no one, Pastor Ricky, right? Pastor Ricky or Melting Pot, one of them said that, hey, we lucky we in the 40s. I think I'm Melting Pot, we should have been in the 30s.
Yes.
We really should have been in the 30s. I thought it was going to be about 38. I thought it was going to be about 38, but it's still bad because guess what happened? It's supposed to get better because remember what I'm saying? No, him spend more money than anybody else in the national security, and them are going to deal with this and them are going to deal with that, and then woke up, CTAC, all them did. And then when they take a stock, what happened? The man them said, Mr. Prime Minister, where you get them 28 bank account there from, and where the money come from, and where is this, and where is that? And by the way, we still have not heard where the money come from to start ADMAT. We still have not heard where that money come from to start ADMAT. And last point I have to make is shame on the Integrity Commission. Integrity Commission, when he said, I'm not going to cooperate with you guys, Integrity Commission had it within their obligation, within their right, within the law, to take him to court. Well, not take him to court, go to court and get a summons and force him, compel him. And the optics alone, because he would have to do, what would that mean? Either compare, he might have to cooperate or oppose. And can you imagine a man oppose that in the court? He oppose that. Just think about the optics when the headlines are going to read. Prime Minister oppose inquiry into his financial dealings. It wouldn't look good. But Integrity Commission did not do it. Similarly, the Auditor General, when she went after the permanent secretary Grace McLean and the Joint Treasury Commission, the man where the chairman use Joint Tertiary Commission and file it as Joint Tertiary Commission Limited as a private entity, and have the permanent secretary give him a TRN, a government TRN, and then funnel 124 million out of the coffers straight to this private entity. And when them ask for the documentation, the man tell the Auditor General that, hey, this is a private entity. You have no jurisdiction over me. Not true. Under the Financial Administration and Audit Act, she could have taken him to court. She never did. So we get a demerit for that. But overall, rate her. So it's a lot to talk about. A lot. Them two, especially them two people, Morgan and what's your name?
Cuthbert. Exactly. All right. Bolo, big up yourself, people. Right. Remember, you understand, do the blessings, right? Big up yourself, Bolo as well. And remember also we have Aromatic right in this space, right? Run over Aromatic because Aromatic is doing some heavy punch. Lonesome, you understand, don't leave out Lonesome. You understand the thing set. Ratty, you understand, don't leave out Ratty. Make sure say they're in the space. You understand, Melting Pot there, Pastor Ricky there. Now, having said that, Jamaica, right? I don't make Melting Pot come in. So Melting Pot, as it relates to Jeannette Calder, right, seems to, I don't know if what you call it, on dementia?
Yeah.
What is
man, loss of memory, dementia.
Alzheimer's.
Also dementia, Alzheimer's. Melting Pot, as it relates to Jeannette Calder, right? Speaking, categorically clear, saying that the People's National Party has never been any after. And then she doubled down. Not one. Right? These are the persons Jamaica Labour Party have, you understand, to representing us. What say you on that situation?
Well, my taking on that is that she's not a political representative material. She can't represent politics. I remember she wasn't a top class runner. She only used to get some like a bronze medal. She don't know about gold medal, Yeah, so where she is concerned, she ain't no body. Because you cannot take up a runner because you feel so them are getting popularity in the poll because them name Jeannette Calder. Yeah, and then throw them in a politics. That no work. People have to go to university and study politics. And then you bring them into the space of politics. Yeah? Just like how you see Mark Golden craft theme selection carefully. And when you look and see how people with reputable background and them CV look good. As Ratty says, I'm running the pan for her CV, but she wasn't a good runner. No, as for Bug Life, we don't use Bug for talk to it about building a hospital. And the reporter them should never publish that when put out. That's why we want some strong journalists in Jamaica.
Exactly.
When a guy like Bug Life come out and chat crap, don't publish it. Tell him to go do him research and come back. Make him think in his head why you said him to go do him research and come back. Yeah, because remember, and a Labour Party build Jamaica, Jamaica built under the People's National Party.
True.
Yeah. By the great leader, Michael Joshua Manley. And that's how Jamaica was built out in the 70s.
And that is
you understand? So we know, say, PMP build more than one hospital. Me they never even try to even argue in point within the sense of to tell him how much hospital the PMP build. Me just know, say, PMP build more than one hospital. I mean, no, say Labour right now build Bustamante Children's Hospital. That was a military infirmary that was given to them. And the nastiness when you Buster, put him name on it. So Bug Life need to go find some bushes and go hibernate and leave politics alone. Because remember, this garbage tell we, Say, don't believe the word of a politician. You understand? So, bug life, I tell you, in reality, same is a liar. You understand? So, when you look on the People's National Party candidate them, and you vet them, you see how outstanding they are. When you look on the Labour right, so-called member of parliament them, it's a bunch of garbage you look on, you know. It's a bunch of disseminated-minded people, you know. Them not have nothing about them more than criminality and corruption, you know. And misrepresentation, you know. That's what them have. Because remember them leader, Film Tool is a big old sitter and now ribbon alone it can't cut, you know. Film Tool no cut nothing more than ribbon. I remember with them, see pick me a real ribbon and them year ago at school again. So this just goes to show you to them well out of touch with the reality of where we are going. Because Bug Life should have go doing research, Hot Leads Foot should have go do fear research, and remember, you know, even Andrew Holness should have called them in and school them and rebuke them. Because when you have people who represent a party who come out and cannot speak on behalf of the history of the country, you know, sister, them don't fit the space. Them don't fit the criteria. They are not representative material. These are some garbage that should be at Riverton City. You understand? And you can't burn them, you know. You have to put them in the landfill and mold them over with dirt. Because you don't want them expose them in sensitivity towards other people. Jeannette Calder, man, for go get her foot look after, man. Bug Life, for go find some bush in our country, man, and go hibernate, man. Leave politics space alone, man. You understand? But we are telling journalists them, anytime you hear them politician, any politician at all, put out a report where you know it's false. Do not publish it, please.
True.
These people will have to do better. They can't just fabricate up things and expect it to go publish. When you start discredit them report, yeah, then we learn and they will do better and then we have Jamaica moving in the right direction. But we are giving them too much publicity when they don't deserve none. You have to kill them, you garbage go Riverton City again, me I reiterate. They only belongs to Riverton City, dump. But don't burn them, put them in the landfill and cover them. They are garbage. That should not be even exposed. I yield back to the member of the panel.
Okay, bless up Melting Pot. As Melting Pot said, don't burn them. Because if I burn them, Melting Pot doesn't want that smoke to be permeated. You understand throughout, right? And then of course, you know, you understand where Melting Pot is going with that. But Pastor Ricky, as we are here talking and Jeannette Calder, right? Speaking to the public and telling those vicious lies. She might lack the history of Jamaica. Either. You understand? The optics of the politics, right, just doesn't look good. Where Jeannette Calder and Morgan, right, simply means that they don't know the history. Right? As it relates to, Jamaica Labour Party and being in representation on politics and, so oblivious. Like what is happening around them. You understand? I mean, come on. I think they have lost their civic duties. You understand? What say you on the matter, Pastor Ricky?
Well, they are embarrassment to Jamaica, number one. And then number two, it reveals that the Prime Minister lacks leadership, that he doesn't have he wants to put a gag order on the Integrity Commission. Well, not on the commission, because Section 53 in the ISAT already speaks to the commissioner, but he wants to put a gag order on the members of parliament. He needs to put a gag order on his members on the JLP side of parliament, because they reveal how incompetent they are whenever they come out, They love to run out to the microphone for hype, but, and it showed that he's lack leadership. He cannot discipline them. He cannot control them. And he's a weak leader. He's a coward. But Athlete's Foot was in the United States at one time, and She ran for the University of Texas. And rumor had it that she was married to a U.S. citizen and obtained U.S. citizenship. So what she should run out to the microphone and tell the people and answer the question, did you ever, or at any point at time where you ever was a U.S. citizen? That's what you need to talk to the people about, because that's a violation of Section 40 of the Constitution, that only Commonwealth members or Commonwealth citizens, excuse me, should serve in the parliament in Jamaica. Any non-Commonwealth citizen is automatically disqualified. So she should answer the question, you know, are you a U.S. citizen? Did you renounce your U.S. citizenship? Number two, refurbishing, renovating, whichever descriptive adjective you want to use, of the current hospitals that they came and saw, like Cornwall Regional Hospital, that has an overrun of $22 billion, which is another Ponzi scheme, embezzlement of taxpayers' funding, doesn't mean that you made or built an hospital. Renovating, refurbishing Spanish Town Hospital doesn't mean that you built Spanish Town Hospital. You came and saw that. Bustamante Hospital, the same thing. So re-renovating and refurbishing current hospitals that was not built by the Jamaica Labour Party doesn't give them the audacity to want to take claims that they built hospital or we didn't build any hospital. Under Edward Siaga, there was no hospital that they built. Under Bruce Golden, they never built no hospital. And it's a shame and embarrassment that they have 9 wasted years under this criminal prime minister and have still yet to build a hospital or institution that will help to develop the lives of the Jamaica people. Yet this government has borrowed so much money than any other government in the history of Jamaica. So what Jeannette Cockburn Flint needs to come onto the microphone and Bug Life and the Prime Minister answer the question. All the money that this government borrow, where is the money? Because if you borrow so much money, and I'm gonna go over them in a second, but if you, this is my notebook of corruption. But if you borrowed so much money, why is it the Jamaica Labour Party haven't built any institution since in the last 40 years? Where is all the money? Let's look at what they borrowed, because they lied and said they never borrowed no money, but yet this is one of the most tax and spend borrowing government in the whole entire history of Jamaica. So here's what they did. Starting in 2016, if I can just get 2 more minutes. In 2016, this government borrowed $1.66 billion from the IMF. 2016, in November 2016, 9 months after they take office, they borrowed $1.66 billion from the IMF, and that's UN's currency. Now, during the Trump years, because Trump didn't come into office till January 20th, 2017, and he left office January 20th, 2021. So they didn't borrow any money during the Trump years. But however, because of COVID in 2020, in May 2020, this was 4 months after Trump left the White House the first time. In 2020, they borrowed $520 million from the Caribbean Development Bank. And then on top of that, in May 2020, this government also borrowed $67 million from $75 million, from the Inter-America Development Bank, and $67 million from the Caribbean Development Bank, and $520 million from the IMF. Also, in March of 2021, they borrowed $150 million from the World Bank. So we have 4 sources right there of financial agencies from 2016 to 2021. They borrowed from the IMF, they borrowed from the Caribbean Development Bank, this government borrowed from the World Bank, and they borrowed from the Inter-America Development Bank, 4 different financial institutions. And then moving on, in March of 2021, Kamala Harris gave the criminal prime minister $30 million in the White House, and we have it on video, so them can't deny it. Out of the 30 million, $20 million was supposed to go for COVID relief, and 10 million was supposed to go for at-risk youths. We know what the code name is for that. And we haven't seen anything spent in Jamaica from the time they took office till now as it relates to building hospitals, as she's running out and claiming. Now, also in March 2023, they borrowed $1.732 billion again from the IMF. In August of 2024, they borrowed $258 million from the IMF. Also, in 2024, they borrowed over $500 million from China. Now, also in March, in 2024, Canada gave them $2 billion to promote the LGBTQ initiative. And now we find out, as Trump is exposing all the corruption in government, we found out that Jamaica also get $1.5 billion for the same initiative. So with all of these millions and billions of dollars that they have borrowed since 2016 till present, where are the hospitals that this criminal regime, as Ambassador Andy said, transnational organized crime government, where is the hospital that they have built? All of this money that you added up, they have not built any institutions, built any hospitals. They have not developed any initiatives. We have police stations, roofs leaking, bathrooms is a mess, toilets overflowing. We have police pushing cars. We have videos, we're not telling a lie. We have fire truck broke down on the road. No ambulance, tourists dropped down in an airport. No ambulance. We have hospitals without ventilation, medication. One lady go buy medication for her mother and them thief it and give it to her next patient because them never have the medication. These people have zero credibilities when it comes to talking about what the PNP did not build. They have not built nothing, yet they're the most taxed government, the most spending government, and the most borrowing government in the whole entire history of Jamaica. All the money I just talked about, except for the Canadian $2 billion, is all US money.
All right.
Come to the microphone and tell the Jamaica people, where is all this money? Where was it spent? The Prime Minister needs to come to the microphone, since him so much himself and him image, and him want to hype, so him quick for run go take picture. Come to the microphone. Come out of hiding and tell the Jamaica people and everybody where all this money that they borrowed from 2016 till present, where did the money went? What did they spend it on? Back over to you.
Thank you very much for that. Since I have a caller, right, I don't want to make the caller wait any longer. Yes, caller, you are on Mystic Sensation Live. Go ahead, please.
Yes, Mystic.
Blessings, my brother.
Thanks for taking my call and thanks for everyone on the panel. Bless up. I'm going to make a point. Just on the Juliet Cockburn. I don't think no one have really, neither she herself has really recognized her true talent. And I think her true talent is running, which means running from reality and running down the lane of destruction. So she holds no form of credibility in anything, even to discuss anything about healthcare, which Michael Manley championed in Jamaica. I remember in the days of Michael Manley, when Michael Manley bring in the healthcare service, and I think she maybe is old enough to say that she might have benefits from it as well. along with a lot of those JLP party people and Labour Party people who benefit from the healthcare program that Michael bring in. I remember a lot of people that Michael, the healthcare service, they went around to elderly people, keep elderly people home and check on them, check their pressure, take care of their. I don't see none of that going on under this government ever. So she have no credibility to come out and discuss about healthcare service in Jamaica. None of the Labour Party, including she. That's about my point. So no.
Wow, wonderful caller. I want to say big thanks for your input. Right, panel. And this is what energizes as it relates to where you have concerned citizens, right? Particularly those who know the history, right, and know that, all right, obviously she's telling a lie, Morgan is telling a lie, and here you have, right, a caller calling in and giving full testimony, right? You know, and you know, we have to ask the question as it relates to where you, as a politician, need to do some introspection, right? Argue with yourself, go in front of a mirror and ask yourself, what sort of service am I giving if I continue to sow the seed of misinformation and disinformation as it relates to the people who I am representing? So I want politicians to think of that. That when you come out and you're going to take a party line by lying and deceiving, right, the electorate, misinformation, disinformation, that is not service. Absolutely, that is not service.
That's right.
Now, let me get into, because we are going to get into some fire tonight, you know. Right?
Mistake, one quick question.
Yes, go ahead.
Make we just assume for the sake of this conversation,
yes,
that Minister Morgan was and is correct, and Minister Cuthbert Flynn was and is correct.
Yes.
If they're saying that them alone build all of the hospitals, then you have to really wonder about the kind of services provided, because the US government said it's a level 3 and it's a level 3 based on health services. So I hope them take that. I hope, just like what them take credit, say we build all of the hospitals, I hope them take credit for the level 3, will soon be level 4. I hope them take credit for that.
There you go. There you go.
I hope them take credit for the absence of the ambulances.
And we know why, because China buy 4 ambulances the year before last. 4 of them buy for the JCF. I wouldn't know which part them they all know, you know.
And Japan give them too, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, Japan give them 4. 4 of them give them. And the other thing, last one, you know, the Prime Minister pay, it's been said that in pay over $1 billion, the government pay over $1 billion for a job description for cabinet members and MPs, where you could have get it off of the internet for free, right? And then the question is, why him say about hold people to them job responsibility and all of that? How no hold them people here? With all them full statement that them come out with, them no hold them accountable.
And lack leadership skills, man.
Oh, we forget that him need to be accountable to. Oh, all right.
Right. So what we are going to touch tonight, we are going to get into the indigent housing program.
My God.
And we have some serious issues where this is concerned, right? And we are going to delve deep into it. Without any delay, wifey, you put up this clip. Let us dive into the indigent housing program and expose that, because that is unbelievable in terms of what we are seeing. We are seeing totally the Jamaican Labour Party as it relates to land grabbing and tricking people out of their land, right? And that is what the situation is. So let us play this clip, right, and take it in.
You may have seen not just a mischievous, but a malicious social media post, which would suggest that somehow this program is giving the houses and then taking them back. Despicable. And you know why it is despicable? Because it was specifically crafted to target a program that is delivering good benefit to the people of Jamaica. Why? They are trying to tear down this program for political gain. But you know what the real disgusting thing is? They are playing up on the ignorance of people. Because even people who we would usually ascribe intelligence to, people who are well-read, people who are educated but can't overcome their biases, would have seen this stupid social media post. And without checking, without verifying, without applying even a tinge of skepticism, would have accepted it because it plays into their bias, looking for something to criticize when nothing is there. And so it plays upon ignorance. Ignorance. And that is dangerous for a democracy. Because if it is that persons can use false information and play upon a population that is not checking, a population that is not verifying, and a population that has deep and divided biases, then what it does, it leads the population to make wrong decisions. In other words, there are persons who will trick you because they know of your emotional predisposition. To what end? To what end? To the destruction of this program? For their political benefit? To do what? To come and run this program? Or to come and put in place a program like Operation Pride, which has left nothing but disgrace in many communities across Jamaica. I spend quite a bit of the resources and my own time trying to resolve the problems of Operation Pride. Whether it is the unfinished lots that were supposed to be sold or given to persons where the titling was not completed, or where they had actually cut up the plots and handed them over with no documentation. Persons moved on the lands, lived on it. No roads, no infrastructure. This is not that program. And I will not allow those persons to use false information to undermine a good program so that they can get the political power to come and do what they did with programs such as Operation Pride. When they had the power, they created total destruction in the housing sector. It was an unmitigated disaster. And when we go back and look at the books as to how agencies like the HAJ was being run with scandal after scandal and a mire of corruption, an entity that under their watch, every time they reported to Parliament, it operated at a loss. And you wonder, where was this loss coming from when people weren't actually getting houses? So I do see where there is a deliberate attempt to target a program and to target the government. And I say to all well-thinking Jamaicans, I say to all our supporters, do not allow the evil people to win the battle. I say to all Jamaicans, think very carefully on what is presented to you. Don't just take and accept without consideration what is presented in a fancy and glossy social media post. 90% of them are lies. Check before you believe.
You know what? No, on a serious note. On a serious note, because
Oh my God.
you know, I mean, I am speaking true to power. That honestly, I have never seen a person that is such a diabolical liar like the Prime Minister. And I'm dead honest. This man is so despicable. Now, let us bring forward the clear evidence. And because the Prime Minister knows, because he spoke it, of the people's emotional predisposition, he believes that he can get away with these lies. because it's his assessment of the people as it relates to the people emotional predisposition. And so then, of course, he takes advantage of that. And let me prove it to the point to the Prime Minister. Prime Minister, when you promise the Jamaican electorate in 2015, sir, that you are going to bring in the big energy sector, and so then you will have them pay less for energy. What is happening now? Did you do that? Have you brought in the big energy sector that you have told them? Have you done that? When you spoke in the campaign, appealing for people's sympathy as a result of the emotional predisposition of the people, when you told them that you were brought up into a one-bedroom house, seeking the sympathy of the people. But in a different campaign, here you are at the same address that you were brought up in a two-bedroom house. Now, Prime Minister, you are despicable. When you came out and said that neither you don't know of any of your men under investigation for illicit enrichment, where you know very well that the Integrity Commission investigators spoken to you. You are, sir, a diabolical. And I believe that the only time that you have spoken a lie is when your mouth is shut. And I'm not joking. Now, let us bring up the next clip, right? Where Desmond Mackenzie is going contrary to what the Prime Minister said. And look, right, we know that the Prime Minister duplicated, right, the program, right, because we know that, and we ask the question, why would the Prime Minister, this is the question that I'm going to ask, because we are going to get into some things tonight. Why did the Prime Minister duplicate the program?
Right.
Right? Why you have the same program executed, you understand, within two different ministries, the local government, right, and where the office of the Prime Minister is concerned, duplicating, right, that program. But we are going to tell the people why. We're not going to tell the people why, because we have the evidence with your land grabbing attitude, right? So the Indigent program is not the only situation where you have the land grabbing situation. No. Many Jamaicans are complaining about you and Jonas and a lawyer that you have. We're going to play the evidence where you are taking away people's land. And as a matter of fact, right, gone to the extreme where people's titles have been tampered with. Yes, we are going to speak on the truth tonight. Right? Now, let us play this video with Desmond Mackenzie going contrary to what the Prime Minister said. Going contrary to what the Prime Minister said. The Prime Minister is in total denial because he's caught.
Mere assistant. So you provide a sheet of zinc, a door, or something like that. And I've seen over the years the plight of many persons, indigent persons, who are actually registered as indigent on the poor relief role of government, because there is a poor relief system that goes around, does the necessary investigations. And if they can't provide an house, they would pay rent, because that is a part of the whole indigent program. In 2016, when I became the minister, I sat with the Most Honorable Prime Minister and I spoke with him as to what I believe would have been a program that could at least offer some level of assistance to persons on the indigent role. And he gave his support. In early 2016, we started with 2 houses in Clarendon. And since then, we have gone beyond 2 houses. We are almost going close now to 150 units that has been constructed or in the process of being concluded in terms of the work that is taking place. And I must tell you something, I have seen it. I have felt the pains, because most of the cases I have gone and have visited the location before. So I do have an appreciation of what existed before, the conditions that existed. And I can tell you, it is a sense of being able to do something to afford someone the opportunity of having a proper roof over their heads. And the government since 2016 has given full support to the program. We provide the funds from the Equalization Fund, and that is a source of funding that is in the Ministry of Local Government. And for the last couple of years, we have gotten funds from the Consolidated Fund. And that is why we have been able to improve the housing over the years. So we have moved from 1-bedroom studio to 2 bedrooms. Now we have gone to 3 bedrooms. We are building multi-family units that is catering for many Jamaicans right across the country. So every parish in Jamaica has benefited from the social indigent housing program of the government of Dr. Andrew Holness. And I'm really proud of what we have been able to accomplish and the many lives that we have touched and changed.
I'm happy that you've shed some light on it. And I would have wanted you to delve a little bit more into the program itself, since it was started by your ministry.
Okay, what the program does, as I said before, persons can apply. They are investigated by the poor relief officers. They must have the land to build the units. And once that is done, we now proceed after the investigation to see whether or not the persons are eligible. They meet the criteria which is set up, because you must be a part of a program that does not allow you on your own. And there are cases where we have provided houses for persons who probably are not that destitute, but because of their circumstances, we have provided for them. Now, the Poor Relief Department of the municipal corporations retain responsibility for the units.
Yes.
So while you occupy those units, the Poor Relief Department does its monthly checking on the units. You are not allowed to do any addition to the units. The units come fully furnished. It is something that I when I came up with the idea of furnishing the units, we did it because there are cases where we saw persons have homes, but there is nothing for them to sleep on. So we figured it does make sense to give you a nice room, and then you have to sleep on the cold ground.
Or furnish the
So we provide the necessary furnishing for the unit.
Right.
Now, the unit cannot be rented. It is not for sale. No addition can be done to the unit. And the unit cannot be handed down to family. And we have cases where occupants have died, and the Poor Relief Department retains the unit, and then it is handed over to someone else who is in need.
Absolutely.
So what we do, and we encourage persons to take care of the units. We notice that a lot of
take him away, because
most
you
of
understand,
all of our
we
units
try
are made from concrete.
Take him away,
and it has been
we tie the evidence, right? as it relates to right, Desmond McKenzie explaining the policy of the Indigent program. There are 4 key components that mention, right? Number 1, they must have the land to build the unit.
Right.
And that is important to know. The first one, which is that they must require or acquire the land, right, to build the unit, right? Whether they have a title or some authorization given, right, by a title holder. But the fact of the matter, you understand, they has to have, right, some authority, right, whether they are the landowner, so forth, before, you understand, they can get the benefit. Number two, right, after being assisted by the program, they are not allowed to do any addition on the units. Not allowed to do any addition on the units, right? Number three, the unit cannot be rented. And number four, the unit cannot be handed down, right, to whosoever they want to hand over. And in case that you have that person might die, right, then of course the government will reclaim that and the government will do what they want to do. Now my thing is, as it relates to what we are talking about in terms of the Prime Minister duplicating, right, the original Indigent program as it relates to under the local government. For what? Transcribing and changing policies, tricking the people. Tricking the people. Because with the original program, right, such term never involved. Where the terms as it relates to the government is going to dictate, right, to them not to increase their house, add on to the house, right, or not to rent it out, right. The original program slated, right, was to assist those people, and they can do anything what they want to do because the houses, the house and the land, you understand, are theirs.
Can I just say something?
Yes.
I'm seeing this because the way in which I'm seeing this, because one of the criteria is that they have to have the land for the structure to go on.
Yes.
And then they cannot do anything. They're not really in ownership. It's just on loan to them.
Exactly.
But what happened to the person's land when they passed and they said it's going to be passed on to another family? So what's going to be their criteria to go into that house on somebody else's land?
But that is the trick as it relates to what Andrew Wallace had done in terms of duplicating, right, the process of the original program. So then why Andrew Wallace did not enhance the original program? So that if they want to build more houses, right, employ more people and so forth, right, in terms of getting what projected amount of houses that they would want. There's no reason as it relates to why Andrew Wallace would have duplicated, right, the program. The only reason that Andrew Wallace had done that, you understand, is to automatically take away the lands from the people. While the people, you trick the people, while the people believing that Andrew Wallace is literally helping them.
It's just a loan.
Literally helping them.
Sending them somewhere to rest there.
Right, so then, look at this. And I want to bring in Ratty in this space here. Ratty, you're going to tell me that, okay, you have your land. It's your land. Right? And you fall yourself a victim of, being in that indigent bracket. And you seek some help. And the government, you understand, agree to help you, right? Based on the requirement that you fulfill, right? Because you have the land. It's your land. And the government, right, assists you in terms of building a house on it, right? And then now the government is going to have you sign a contract where might be the fine print stipulating, right, with these items that Mackenzie had spoken about. Right, number one, they must have the land to build the unit, not allowed to do any addition on the unit. The unit cannot be rented, and the unit cannot be handed down. So then, isn't this a program that utilizes in a way where I would say the government trick these indigent people in taking away their land? How do you see it, right?
Well, this is more than trickery. This is more like robbery. So, the Prime Minister started, if you go back and listen to his speech, his remarks, he was saying that, you know, people that put out these glossy posts on social media and they're trying to trick people and all of that. He never once mentioned any of the terms you just described, or any of the terms that Minister Mackenzie mentioned. He never once said, you know what, yeah, it's true that you can't transfer the property, you can't increase it in size, you can't rent, you can't do anything. He never once said any of that.
Right.
So let me just start from the position that if we really want to know who are trick people and who are tell lies, people all enough to do, and we're going to start a program pretty soon. We started already, but we're going to really enhance it. We're going to look at the manifestos, the 2016 manifesto and the 2020 manifesto. And we're going to ask you if them promises with them given, if them fulfill any, and if them fulfill any, and if they do, how many of them fulfill. We're going to look at the conference speeches where they make all kinds of promises and all of the poor people them jump out, ray, and them go right back to poverty. We're going to look at the promised prosperity, and we're going to see that what happened is the reality is poverty. We're going to look at the speeches made in Parliament, the sectoral speeches, the comments. We're going to look at all of those. We're going to look at the Hansford comments we make when them pass law, how them talk about it. And you touched on it earlier when you talk about Minister Chuck having to do with parliamentarians. You can't talk about them wives. You can't ask about their wives or their children's holdings. We're going to go back and look at all of those things. We're going to look at the 100-day promises, and we're going to look at the press conferences, the promises. And you will see in an abundant manner that if anybody trick anybody, is this government that trick the people. You want to get to the social indigent housing program. You talk about Operation Pride. And again, I go back to say, Prime Minister, we don't want to hear about what happened 20, 30, 15 years ago, because you tricked the people of Jamaica into thinking that you are going to fix those problems. So whatever those problems were, you can't bring them up now and say, oh, those problems happen now. No, because that's what you said in 2016, and the people gave you the reins of power to correct those issues, if there were issues. And then after 9 going on 10 years, you still have bring up back something happen. No, talk about what you do to solve the problems. Don't talk about the problems as if the problems are still problems right now, because they're not supposed to be. Because when you run, well, first time you run on election, which is 5 years, up to 5 years. You didn't run on election, re-election, re-election. No, because the term is only 5 years, and you don't know if the people are going to re-elect you. So you run on it for 5 years saying, I am going to make changes, and I'm going to cure all the deficiencies and all the ills that are besetting Jamaica over the past 18 years or so. The other thing is that them said them build from 2016 150 homes, and then them said they're in the process of building 150 homes from 2016 till now.
Exactly.
And you're getting money from equalization fund, which is coming out of the local government, which you are the minister of, and you're getting money out of the consolidated funds. $1.3 trillion. Now, I'm not counting 3 trillion. How much houses do you think that could have built? One of the loans that my Pastor Ricky just enumerated. How many homes do you think you could have built? You think I'm going 150 indigent family in Jamaica? That over the period of 9 years, because him said, him said 2016, he talked to the Prime Minister about it, that you only build 100, you didn't build 150, because you say not completed, you work on finishing up 150. That don't make no sense. No, Amari raised a good point. You own the land, then build the structure. Would it make better sense to say, listen, what happens is that the structure costs X amount and you pay X amount per month till you pay it off? Because you're land and you own the land and the structure after X amount of years, X amount of dollars. When you come and you say, you own the land, we build the structure, but you can't do none of them things here. And if you do any of them, if any of them things happen, then we'll take it and we'll give it to somebody else. And the question is, are you going to pay me lease for the land, or you just take my land?
Exactly.
You just take my land. So then what happens then is that what you actually did, you said to me, say, give me your land, I mean loan your structure. Because guess what happened? The person whose name is on that title is going to die.
Exactly.
That person is going to die. Sure as fate, that person going. And now you say when the person is dead, it doesn't pass on to the person's next of kin or whatever. It goes back into the general pool, and then now them figure out who them want to put inside of the house. What kind of wickedness is that, man?
Vicious.
What kind of wickedness is that?
Vicious.
That's wickedness on top of wickedness. Because remember, the people are indigent, the only thing they have is land. And now you give, you get the family, a one person you give, one person you give, and you said that person is dead, the whole house not to come off. No, what happened? Them say you can't increase the size of the house. One of the person dead and the man is very prolific in bed, and the man have 8 more picnic over the next 2, 3, 4 years. What am I supposed to do? Have 8 plus whatever I have before, and him wife pack up in the 1 bedroom or 2 bedroom you give him. You see how unreasonable this is? Let me see if I have any more notes here. Because me not take notes. Yeah, you can't sell it. You can't sell it. You can't rent it. You can't transfer it. You can't add to it. Now, what I would like to see, that contract.
Exactly. Yeah.
I would like
for that contract to be
I want that contract because I bet you this, a lot of the people who sign, them don't know none of them things. They don't know this. The person who signed, who from in the dotted line, they don't know, say, hey, if me dead, all them people when me as support and where look to me for support, them gone as them their street. And look how short-sighted it is. Now, you talk about social services. Like I said, father the breadwinner, mother home, 3 or 4 children, father dead. You kick off mother and the 4 children. Now, what am I going to go now? You see, it's a burden upon social services. And Jamaica don't have social services to begin with. Exactly. So it's going to be a burden upon some family. So you see what got now? You put out the picnic of them now, and what them supposed to do? What them supposed to do? This is heartless, man. This is inconsiderate. This is criminal.
Inhumane.
Yeah. Right. This. I mean, and then the Prime Minister have the unlimited gall to come sit down right there and talk about don't let people trick you and tell you this and tell you that. And yet still, and again, nobody asked him, say, but Mr. Prime Minister, let's talk about the specifics of the program.
Right.
Is it true that if you're dead, if you sign it and you're dead, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't, and even if you're not dead, you can't transfer, you can't sell, you can't rent, you can't add, you can't do that. Is it true? These are the questions they need to ask them people, man. These are the questions they need to ask, and I'm not asking. And the poor people, them so happy to sign and get a roof over their head. And I realize, the question I'm going to ask the Prime Minister. And that's the thing. So, Mr. Prime Minister, let me see if I understand you now. Somebody sign this thing today. They move in tomorrow, and a week later the man dead. What happened? Because them can't stay there.
It goes back to the municipal.
See, there's something wrong with this.
Yeah.
You give up your land for 1 week in a house. You give up your land for 1 week in a house. Someone asking them, who won the land then? Who won the land?
The recipient.
That's why we need to see the contract. And you'll see how unfair the contract is. Because Matilda said that contract that wouldn't stand up in a court. It can't stand up in a court. Cannot stand up in a court. Because people are going to sign it because them see a future ahead, them see a house for them family, a roof over them head and all of that. Them see, so them are going to sign. And you can't have a contract like that which is one-sided. It's one-sided. Because them not have no choice in that. Them say, all right, we're going to build a house. Well, you have to give up the land. Them are going to do it. People are open to understand, how evil this government is. That them can't even conceive of a plan like this. When them should have built a house and I give people, because that is the promise they're making in them manifesto. That is the promise they're supposed to hold them to. They're supposed to have built a house and I give people. And instead, They might take away your land, put on some on it, and then kick you off later. This hurt me. It hurt me. It really, really hurt me. Of all the things we talk about tonight, that one I really grab at me. That one I really, that was them grab me, but that one I was scared with me for a long, long time. Because at the first time I see the Prime Minister address the issue. First time I see him address the issue. And I mean,
it's really a vicious and cruel thing, right? In terms of that. So gentlemen, we have a couple more things to push in well, right? So we want to keep it a little bit limited in terms of 3 minutes to respond in terms of totality, right? So that we can be able to get in to push in a lot of information, because I mean, content rich, with Jamaica Labour Party and the level of corruption, right? It provides a lot of content. So we want to push in all of that content tonight. So melting pot, take the way it relates to the Prime Minister, right, Indigent program, duplicating, right, the local government program.
First, I want to say, no matter how deficiency our Jamaican people are in terms of education, one thing I know them have is understanding. Nobody now will give them land.
Yes.
For you just come put a house on it, but when me dead, my land gone with your house. God, that's what it is, you know.
That's exactly what it is.
You understand? And when I hear this garbage regime leader, I come and make him allegation that people must not listen when them hear on social media, because 90% of it is not true. Who come out with this narrative about indigent houses program? It's Dead Man Mackenzie, you know.
Exactly.
It's been around
from
Mackenzie
bring it in at the space of social media for we have discussion on the topic. So who is he referring to? Must be Dead Man Mackenzie. Because Dead Man Mackenzie have the full details of what these housing program entail in terms of where it is going, with the conversation that you have to have the land, you know, to get the help. And when you die, it goes back to the municipal, and you cannot expand on the house, and you cannot give it to anyone in your family. It goes back to the municipal because, you know, it belongs to the municipal. So, but what Dead Man Mackenzie did not mention, what happened to the people in land. If you notice, all of them, you know, between him and Dead Man Mackenzie, they don't talk about the people in land, you know. They just have talk about the house.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And what the house entail. Well, we know you give a house to a recipient, yeah? You have to have a contract. So between Dead Man Mackenzie and the Prime Minister, we would have liked to see the contract where you sold to the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, forget them to agree to you putting a house on them land. And one thing that I want to make mention, you know, Dead Man Mackenzie said they built concrete structure. Specifically, it was done intentionally to build them in concrete structure. That is a critical, pivotal point in our conversation, you know. When him say, he build them directly in a concrete structure. Why? Because I know say, if he build them in a board house, and people here say them land about them, I pull down them the house and give them back them board.
That's a solid point.
So I make sure I build them in a concrete.
True.
You understand? As I said earlier on in our discussion regarding these houses, there's nothing wrong with board houses because there's several houses in America. Them build out a board, sand dash them. Them look good. Yeah? I want to tell you, board is an expensive commodity right now. Whereas if you use clinker board, because you couldn't go use a plyboard. to make them murder and you use the clinker board and you sandash them. But him said them deliberately build them in a concrete structure. Because what am I doing now? Is make sure no say you cannot demolish the concrete structure. But you could have pull down the house if it building a board and give them back them lumber. So this Prime Minister, I do have no credibility I give him for where him come out come say. I would have more believe in what Dead Man Mackenzie said.
All right, definitely.
Because Dead Mackenzie tell you what the contract entail. Exactly. But him on come bash social media because we make sure no say we come defend the people and them land. Where you want to take away because you give them a structure for them live under. So it's not an indigenous program. We have to benefit the people. You have to take something from the people, you know, we probably value more than your house where you give them like a 1 bedroom fall cob.
Exactly. Exactly.
What let the man have 2-year car land? And you build the house but in 2-year car land. You're going to take him 2-year car land or you're going to just take the house spot. I don't know. Because you couldn't take nothing else more than the house spot where your house built upon, you know. So this is a fraud scheme where Andrew Holness designed because I hear him design this. Him remodify it from what it was under Portia Simpson and put in this clause within the contract now to take away the people them land. Andrew Holness have a problem with stealing and the entire Jamaica need to know. This man have a serious problem when it comes to stealing.
Kleptomania.
Yes. You understand? And him now have no standing in a Jamaica society no more. We need to get rid of him quick and fast. As we have said earlier on, him not supposed to run for the election. Him supposed to be behind bars in an orange uniform. And I yield back to a member of the panel.
All right, Pastor Ricky. See if you can use your 3 minutes and wind it up.
Listen, we have to go back to Paul Chen Young and Associates. This government specializes in Ponzi schemes, cash plus Ponzi schemes, ADMAT Ponzi schemes, SSL Ponzi scheme, and now the Indigent House Ponzi scheme and the duplicate. Big up Pamela Monroe Ellis, the Auditor General, who went and did a thorough job and highlight that this was a duplication that the criminal prime minister repackaged and call it the new social development housing program. That was unnecessary because the Desmond McKenzie local government indigent housing program was came online in 2016, and then 2 years later he came online to duplicate what was already there. And so I look up in Google what would be the price of half acres of land in Jamaica, and according to Google, and I did the math, the calculation, half an acre land will be 15 million Jamaica dollar right now. So I said, well, maybe they don't.
Depending on where the land lies, because
right. But then I said, they don't probably need half an acres because the requirements for the housing, the indigent housing program, it was more. It says 1 bedroom. He lied to the interviewer and said it was 2 to 3 bedroom. So I look up quarter acres, and you split the 15 million for half an acre into half. So quarter acres will run you 7.5 million Jamaica dollars. So you're talking about the indigent poor people having a piece of land at value, face value of 7.5 million. So now, and that's one of the requirements. You must own the land in both programs. You got to own the land or have some title lease for a spot of the land. So when we look at this, is a land grabbing Ponzi scheme to take away the land. Remember, in bulldozer down people house and take back the land from them, what previous government give the people them, you know. So there's nothing that he can say right now and blame social media, because he, like Sir Rattigan said, he never confirm nor deny what Desmond ran out and said, because Desmond was put out to say something because of an Auditor General report that $33 million was accounted for in the criminal prime minister new social development program, which him came out and disrespect the Auditor General for. But let me just say this real quick. In 2020, a couple right before the general election in 2020, he pledged or promised the prime minister to build 70,000 affordable homes. Now, the Indigent homes that Desmond is talking about and the new social program that he's talking about is made from taxpayers' money. So he's double dipping, because they already had a program from the local government, and now central government is double dipping, going back into taxpayers' money to build homes. When you, like you said, Sir Byron, him should have just strengthened the thing that Desmond had going on from 2016. But now he wants a piece of the pie. So in 2020, right before the general, him said, I'm going to build 70,000 affordable homes for the people. 30% of that will be for police officers, nurses, and teachers, and civil servants. Then him said 10,000 for young people between the age of 18 and 35 at 100% financing, right? And then him said him gonna have 1 billion NHT investment in the social housing, 30,000 land titles to Jamaicans with legitimate land claim. We have not seen this promise, as he's a promise maker and a promise breaker, come to fruition, because so far, to be honest, he's only built 271 houses. Since 2018 till now, he has only built 271 houses. So if you combine what Desmond say I'm gonna build, or him already have built, which is 150 homes in 9 years from 2016 to now, and then 271 homes from 2018 till now, 271 homes, excuse me, from 2018 till now, which is approximately 7 years. So a total, when you add 150 to 271, is a total of 421 homes they built with taxpayers' money. But he's yet to build the 70,000 homes that he promised to build. He's yet to give the police officers and the nurses and the teachers and the young people the homes that he promised to build. And remember, him say I'm gonna build 1,000 house, I'm gonna build 1,000 house, and so far I'm only built 2 per year, which is from 2020 to now should be what, 5,000 homes, but I'm only built 207. So it's in a deficit because he cannot deliver on the things he promised. Like Sir Rattigan said, the manifesto from 2016 and 2020, he's failed. He's a failure. He has failed to do what he promised to do for the Jamaican people. And this is another stark example and reason why this criminal does not deserve another opportunity to be the leader of Jamaica, because he's gonna make unrealistic promises like 1,000 house per year. And now when you add up 271 minus 5,000, it leaves you with a deficit of a total of 4,781 homes that he has failed to, 79 homes that he has failed to deliver. And so he cannot be trusted. He's a pathological liar and a deceiver, and it's time that he call the election so his regime can be ended. You're muted.
Sorry about that. Let me just prove to Jamaica that Andrew Holness administration is also active, right, in terms of stealing land from people. No, I'm not joking.
Yeah.
Right? We have several persons who are complaining. I'm going to play one of the persons who always complain, and where the person is showing you evidence of title, and where, right, that person is also alleging as it relates to how they went in and manipulate the changes. And this person is also making reference of Andrew Owens' lawyer who is doing that. Not my word. Not my word. So Andrew Owens create a duplication of the Indigent program, you understand, is to do just that.
Right.
Just that. So let us bring forward the evidence. So Mystic Sensation is saying this. All right. Without any delay, let us bring up that and show the people. So it's all about land grabbing. It's all about tricking the people. Andrew Owens have no love for Jamaican people. Look at these people.
Right, you know, we are telling you, enough of them people here we attack, we never buy a piece of land yet. I capture government land. One come on internet for run off them out for people who work for them things and buy them property. If you don't own one of this, if you don't own something like this, what we call land title, you can't talk to me. See them there? All of them pay tax, land title. See them there? See them there? Land title. Land title. All right, yeah, we're showing you something again, you know. This is a land title. All right. Them here for me. All of them have my name on them. All of them have my name on them. You understand? Andrew Owens government a thief, and him a thief the property them through tax through title office. You try remember that. So if a man own one of this, you know, they can't talk to me, you know. And enough of you we are come and run off on the mouth about Jamaica, you know. If you never do nothing to Jamaica, you can't talk to me. If you never do nothing to Jamaica, you cannot talk to me. Because it's nothing to me. You understand? All right, I'll show you now, you know. Your Jamaica system is corrupt, you know. A foreign me live in, I live in America. And my lawyer there 3 days, me find out, get the message, my lawyer passed away. 3 days after my lawyer dead, wife come to Jamaica, come look out, come get with paper for land. Because Brian Clark have with time to sit down. How long I try to keep with property. I have this letter, this death certificate. This is my lawyer death certificate. 3 days after my lawyer passed away, Brian Clark keep the land through Jamaica title office. The letter when sent out 3 days after my lawyer dead. No, I listen to Jamaica unfair. You know how long they come out the land and attack out the land. The government never said nothing. I see the 2 haunted house they were put on people property. We come out right now and I can create havoc on it. On social media. You see that man said we too. We vlogger take you out and post it and big up the contract. And if so say I take him and take away people them place. And him dep on social media right now. I look how long we dep on social media with my property, with team through the Jamaica title office card. That's where my title sits under the government office. He's a hypocrite and journalist.
Now take it away. Right? Now we have some serious situation, you understand, with this government and Andrew Owens. Serious situation with Andrew Owens. Because the trickery that he carried out as it relates to the Indigent program, we have seen the similar trickery in SSL.
Yeah.
You know, we are wondering now, right, that the Prime Minister does not have an ordinary account in SSL. The Prime Minister appears to be, based on what we are seeing with Indigent program and the way the Prime Minister behaves, seems to be formulating, be a part of the strategy within SSL as it relates to, you understand, where investors have lost their money. This man is telling us plain right? What the Prime Minister lawyer had done, you know. Right? The man came out, you understand, and show evidence of all the titles that he have for the respective land that he owned, with his name on it, but yet in the title office, right? It is being manipulated in there. What is going on with Andrew Wallace? The corruption. So when we have the corruption perception index, not this man, how could it be us on social media, you understand, showing disinformation and misinformation, you understand, against the Prime Minister? We are international, recognized entity. You understand what investigated, done their research, right? Come on, these international agencies, do you believe that they are going to take, okay, certain argument from Mystic Sensation? Are they going to take certain argument from Pastor Ricky or Melting Pot, right, or Rattigan? They're going to do their research. Come on. And they're going to find solid evidence as it relates to why Jamaica need to move 4 digits down in the corruption perception index. That said, Jamaica, that said, I want to show Jamaica tonight. I'm talking to Jamaica people. If you notice what I have on the thumbnail, I have Ibrahim Traore on the thumbnail, and I have Andrew Wallace on the thumbnail. This is the pinnacle of tonight's live. The reason why I am going to show such a comparison between Ibrahim Traore, right, and Andrew Wallace. When it comes to Burkina Faso, for those who study Burkina Faso was one of the poorest provinces in Africa. Poorest province in Africa. Why Burkina Faso was one of the poorest provinces in Africa? Was to the fact that corruption rigged their society. And you have an Ibrahim Traore, right, that rose from that and eliminate corruption. And today, people, you are going to see that Burkina Faso, right, is such a force to reckon with. The change around that Ibrahim Traore had done had shown the entire Africa to wake up and look deep on corruption and how corruption can wreck a society, wreck a nation. I'm going to play this clip. You understand? And I'm going to go through, and I want the panel to take 2 examples of what happened with Ibrahim Traore, right? And we are going to discuss it. Whether it may be the same 2 that Pastor Ricky may have selected, or the same 2 Melting Pot had selected, right? Or the same 2 Vatican selected. But we are going to discuss it as it relates to why, right? We are going to show the comparison between what Ibrahim Traore had done, you understand, to bring Burkina Faso, you understand, up as it relates to even, right, strengthening their economy. Today, people, I want you to pay attention to this. And you can make a perfect example to make a comparison of what a good, solid government is like. Without any delay, let us find Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore, and I want people to understand and look as it relates to that. Right? Look on the development. Right? And I want people to see what Ibrahim Traore had done, right? In terms of correcting BC, had given 300% to his ministers. Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore did not do that. Ibrahim Traore reduced. So listen to this, people.
But first thing first, did you hear that Donald Trump invited Ibrahim Traore to his inauguration and he refused to go? Did you hear about that? Rumors say that Ibrahim Traore rejected requests from the U.S. government to attend to Donald Trump's inauguration session. Not 100% about that yet. I'm still doing my research and finding out what's happening really, give you the details, okay? And I'm going to drop it for you. And also, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa was not invited. You know, they don't see quite eye to eye. So things are very, very burning right now. But let's talk about Ibrahim Traoré. Ibrahim Traoré is this man right here. If you've never heard about him, I think this is a great opportunity to find out about this man. Now, Ibrahim Traoré, who's a great president, is young, turning 37 years old. Yeah, he is working. We're going to find out quickly what he's done for his country. Very quickly. Number one, Burkina Faso's GDP grew from approximately 18 billion to $22 billion in 2 years, fellas. From 18 billion to $22 billion. Congratulations. It's not like some of these presidents that are just eating the money. They're just spending money, getting second, third, fourth wife, making sure their cousins are good, their aunties in the village, and they don't give a continental about everybody else. Crazy stuff. Number two, Ibrahim Traoré has rejected the loans of IMF and World Bank. He said Africa does not need the World Bank or the IMF or America. What do you feel about that? Amazing, isn't it? Now, this guy in this country, there used to be another great man named Thomas Sankara. Have you heard of Thomas Sankara? Thomas Sankara had the very same mindset. He said Africa doesn't need any help from no other nations. We have gold, diamond, uranium, everything, you name it, we have it. We have the coltons, we have zinc, we have all the stuff you need for technology, for iPhones, for Samsungs, for missiles, for satellite. You don't need anything from nobody else. So he refused to go and pay, the debts that his country had at the time. But he was telling African president at the time, I want to refuse to pay. But you better refuse too, because if you don't refuse, next time you're going to come here in our meeting, I won't be here. I'll be dead.
Notre conférence adopte la nécessité de dire clairement que nous ne pouvons pas payer la dette. Non pas dans un esprit belliqueux, belliciste. Ceci pour éviter que nous n'allions individuellement nous faire assassiner. Si le Burkina Faso tout seul refuse de payer la dette, je ne serai pas là à la prochaine conférence.
Guess what happened in the next meeting? He wasn't there. He was dead. Why? Because African presidents are cowards. Now, what does the IMF and World Bank do? They give some money to some poor African nations. Say, okay, here's the money. You want to build a hospital? You want to build roads and schools? Here's money, okay? But you're going to pay me 5, 6, 10-fold the money I gave you. That's how they function. Now, if you don't pay the money, they come into your country, they loot the gold, they loot the uranium, and all that stuff. And there is no one country in the world that has been successful from getting money from the IMF. Now, Ibrahim Traoré said not to that. What has he done instead is asking everybody in Burkina Faso to put a percentage of their salary in a common basket. Now, they're going to use that money from the basket to buy weapons, to buy hospital stuff, to buy food, to buy everything they need for building road infrastructure. That is how it's operating. And let me remind you, how old is this man? 37 years old. Ibrahim Traoré has reduced the salaries of the ministers and parliamentarians. Congratulations, by 30%. He has reduced the salary of parliamentarians and ministers, and he has added the salary of civil servants by 50%. Now, let me tell you something, fellas. Some of the African countries, before people get into power, they run for elections, parliamentarian. They will tell you all the nice things. We're going to put pressure on the government so that they can build road for you. We're going to put pressure on the government so they can build schools and hospitals in this area. Once they get into the parliament, they forget about you because then they're not enemies of the government anymore. They're actually working together. Government is giving them money behind the doors while you don't know. You're thinking you have parliamentarian people fighting for you, but in reality, they're eating in the same plate. So people are being fooled in Africa. They don't even understand. He said, no more rich people out of politics. Finish. You cannot be rich out of politics. So drop the money of the parliamentarian and the ministers by 30%, increase the salary of civil servants by 50%. Congratulations on what? Let me remind you here, Ibrahim Traoré is the president that say, I don't need my salary as a president. Just pay me as a soldier. I'm a captain. Pay me as a captain. Keep the presidential salary, put it in the comment box. So he leads by example. Amazing what? Let's clap our hands. Thank you. Ibrahim Traoré, number 4, has paid Burkina Faso's local debt. Yeah. So he's not spending the money building houses or buying cars like some other presidents that are behaving like children. He is spending the money for the people. And these are the kind of people Africa needs. Africa is not moving forward because Africa is incompetent. Africa is not moving forward because of the leaders that are absolutely treasonous. They're traitors of the countries. They just care about their stomachs and whatever the under their pants, because it's just curious how these presidents, as soon as they become president, they have 5, 6, 7 wives and stuff. It's just insane. Number 5, Ibrahim Traoré has established 2 tomato processing plants in the country, the first ever in Burkina Faso. Now, Burkina Faso produces a lot of tomato, okay? Lots of it. And foreign companies come to Burkina Faso, get the tomato, go and process it, put it in a box, and come sell back to Burkina Faso. That was before Ibrahim Traoré came into power. When he got into power, he said, no more. Enough. He's built himself a tomato plant right there in Africa, in the country. Now they can sow the tomato, record the tomato, process it, and resell to the people at a very cheap price. Amazing what? Let's clap. Number 6, Burkina Faso in 2023 has inaugurated a state-of-the-art gold mine to enhance local processing capabilities. Again, local processing capabilities. The reason why many African nations are poor is because everything Africa produces gets processed somewhere else. Like in Nigeria, your oil and stuff get processed somewhere else. Aliko Dangote came with an idea trying to build his own refinery to process the oil, and Nigerians were not happy about that. They say Aliko Dangote want to create a monopoly. He want to be rich by himself. Instead of understanding the man's idea was, let me create something that we don't have so we can have oil and petrol and fuel at a very cheap price. No, they didn't want that. No. We don't want that. Shameful. Number 7, Ibrahim Traoré has stopped exporting unrefined Burkina Faso gold to Europe. No more unrefined Burkina Faso gold going to Europe.
Right now, the bad news is it's easier than ever to overpay for a home in Edmonton, so you need to be careful. In today's market, it's hard.
You're going to refine it in Burkina Faso.
Yeah, let us take it away. Right? I'm going to speak on the 2 items that I can pick from that as it relates to Ibrahim Traoré, right? Where he reduced salary of parliamentarians by 30% and increased civil workers, right, to 50%. Unlike Andrew Holness, who had given both himself and other politicians, right, judges and so forth, 300 and 200% raise. So Ibrahim Traoré is showing Andrew Holness that is not good governance. Right? The better thing to do, right, as it relates to an economy that is feeble, right, was to reduce politician salary and increase civil workers. And that would keep our teachers not to migrate and our nurses not to migrate. But what Andrew Holness' corruptive government has done, right, is to give themselves 200 and 300% raise. Let me begin with Pastor Ricky on this one because we soon have to wrap up.
Yeah. Thank you. My 2 observation is, number 1, he reject loans from the IMF and the World Bank, which is good because those loans comes with terms and conditions and you have to abide by them. We saw what happened to the corrupt GLP party under Bruce Golding when they did not abide by the terms and the condition of the IMF loans, then they weren't able to get any more loans from the IMF. So that's good. And then the next thing is that he depend on the natural resources in the earth, the mineral, the gold, the copper, the zinc, to refine it there, and that way, you have control over that and get rid of the colonians. So he literally, basically, to summarize it, he took power away from the outside entities like France and the colonians, and he empowered the people to let them know you can plant tomatoes, you can manufacture, you can refine stuff, you can make stuff, and that's power to the people, and that's what I admire about him. Thank you.
Very well. Melting Pot, take it away.
Yeah, we are looking at a leader who is, very much in the mode of self-reliance, making this country, able to sustain its own growth and development, rather than seeking outside investment, that comes with a lot of austerity measures and high, interest rate. So that was a model that was also instituted in Jamaica by Michael Manley, self-reliance. But we see what happened to self-reliance under the capital regime. You understand? Yeah. So it's no surprise that Burkina Faso is on the rise, as its GDP would show. You understand?
Yes.
Moving from 18 billion to 22 billion in 2 years. That's a healthy growth. Over a 2-year period. And, not being indebted to any outside entities. That also show you the, vision that this young 37-year-old leader has for that country. So, just looking at it from a standpoint, if this young individual leading this country and taking 2 years to get a surplus of $4 billion more onto their GDP, then it shows you how worthless Andrew Wallace is.
Okay.
Because Andrew Wallace hasn't gained anything on the Jamaican GDP. What Andrew Wallace and his regime has done is depreciate Jamaican GDP.
Certain.
And has put the country now in recession. And we see where people like Nigel Clark run away. Nigel Clark run away like a runaway slave gone to IMF. Running away from a lucrative job as the finance minister of Jamaica and being a slave in IMF. A water boy. Because what they do, they destroy Jamaica infrastructure. There's nothing for Jamaica to sustain itself and to grow itself. And so the people in Jamaica now are reaping the benefit of that havoc. And the benefit of that havoc is poverty, austerity, and sufferation.
All right. Well said, Ratty. Well said, Melting Pot. All right, we are giving you the privilege to close the program tonight because, of course, wife, you have to run off to work. So we are going to just cap it after your comment. So please close the curtain for us tonight.
Yeah, Burkina Faso, thank God that they still have agriculture and they still have raw materials that they can depend on. Jamaica cannot have that because we have destroyed the agriculture.
Oh my goodness.
Sector. We have destroyed it. And we bring in we import a lot of substandard products, cheap, and then we drive our local farmers out of business. Don't even talk about the bauxite industry. We should have had a refinery there. Instead, what we do, we produce alumina, and we send out the alumina, and it's converted into aluminum, and then them send back the aluminum and sell us. And we produce, and we have the raw material, right? And we have to buy the finished product. No, make no sense. Here's something that I'm very impressed with this man. He reduced the salaries of parliamentarians.
Yes.
Reduced it by 30% and increased the salaries of civil servants by 50%.
By 50%?
Yeah. And remember now, our prime minister, he increased. He did the opposite. He increased the salaries for parliamentarians by up to 300 and cabinet members by up to 300%. And then increase for civil servants 20%.
Wicked.
The people who do most of the work, 20%. I remember his justification. You get the government where you pay for. Him said the political class is underpaid. And this is why we have to pay them money so that we can get performance. And you see, you mentioned the performance we get from people like Juliet Cuthbert Flynn, or we get from Minister Morgan and others. That is what we get. We get zero. No, we get minus. We get minus.
Zero.
Yeah, we increase and we get minus. I mean, they don't understand this. And then guess what happened? Here is the man who shepherded that policy
Different
that
commission.
bill, so that them could have increased the wages. And what him doing at the end, him say, I don't want any. I don't want any. And then Minister Morgan come out and say, no. You cannot refuse the increase except you have to resign. You can't. And there is a transformation. There's a transformation office in the Ministry of Finance. When go to Prime Minister go to and say, me no want none, keep me at 9 million. And that's exactly where he is today, 9 million plus expenses. Now, what kind of foolishness is this? What kind of foolishness is this? If Jamaica don't understand, so we have a zigzag Prime Minister. Him zig and him zag. You can't catch up to him. Because when him zig and you zig with him and you think him stop, him zag. And then you have to go again and him just keep you doing this. And at some point you have to realize that he does not have your best interest at heart.
Yeah.
And by extension, in cronies, in cabinet, them not have your interest at heart either. And I mean, we could have gone on and talk about all of the deficiencies, but people of Jamaica, whether you're living in the country or outside the country, we want you to realize, we want you to understand that what we have in Jamaica right now is a recession. Despite what you may hear them say we don't have a recession. If you look at the definition of a recession, we have a recession in Jamaica.
Yeah.
And when them tell you foolishness about the unemployment rate is the lowest it's been because it's 3.6, it's 5.7. Don't let them tell you no foolishness. 5.7 based on statins numbers. 5.7 people who can work, not working. It's that simple, right? And when they talk about GDP to debt ratio, and my brag about it will come down to 70, guess what? Japan at over 200, America must be over 200, Canada over 200, Germany, all of the manufacturing countries, them, we are make things. For them, you think they worry about GDP to debt? They worry about standard of living. They want to make sure that people are eat and have roof over their head and all of them. And then not teach nobody land and I tell them, no, come up with no scheme. I tell them, give me your land, me give you a house, but when you're dead, it belongs to we and we can give to our friends and our family. Look, people, just continue to tune into these programs because it may be long, but it won't be forever.
Certainly.
Can't continue forever. Maybe long, but it won't be forever. The time soon come.
Well said, Brother Ratty. And people, all right, I just want to place some emphasis on that. There is going to be a protest, I think, in Portmore tomorrow.
Emancipation Park at 10:30.
At the Emancipation Park at 10:30 a.m. We are encouraging, right, the people in that area to go out and participate. Go out and participate.
About time, man. They need to been protesting.
Okay, right.
The diaspora did 5 protests.
Participating and follow the guidelines as it relates to, protest, right? No violence, right? Just do our thing orderly, right? Peacefully, right? But please go out, right, and support, right? So that is it for us. I want to say big thanks to, our distinguished panel. Big thanks to Pastor Ricky, Melting Pot, and again, Rattigan. Big thanks.
Blessings,
right?
blessings, everybody.
Blessings.
Yeah,
that is
man.
the end of
Respect.
our
All right.
tonight.
Have a blessed night, everybody. All right. Bye-bye.
All right. We will continue to work hard and diligent for our people, right? Because we love them and we want to make sure that our people get good governance. All right, Melting Pot.
Bless up, my brother.
Blessings, my brother. All right.
Okay, guys. So bless up until Friday, and Rattigan should be having his show tomorrow evening, and tune into all the other platforms who will be spreading the message.
Right. And remember, tune into Lonesome tomorrow as well, right? Because the thing set out there burning the fire. Yes, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. Good night, guys.
All right.